you don't want to miss. Tickets at MusealAwards.com.
It's simple math. Rising prices equals tighter family budgets. I'm Katie Stewart. I'm a mom and a math teacher. In Springfield, I cut grocery taxes, froze gas taxes, and delivered income tax credits for working families. I helped pass measures to crack down on price gouging by drug companies to lower healthcare costs. I'm investing in vocational training to train workers for high-paying jobs like welders and carpenters that pay $35 or more an hour. I'm Katie Stewart. My opponent, Jennifer Cordy, has said victims of rape who choose to have an abortion will regret it later. Cordy is for a total ban on choice in Illinois. I'll protect a woman's right to choose, no matter what happens in Washington. It's why Planned Parenthood supports me. I'm Katie Stewart, candidate for state representative. I'm not a politician. I follow numbers, and our community is always first. Paid for by Friends for Katie Stewart.
This is Debbie Monterey with a real estate update and some insight from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria told me that sitting on the sidelines may not be the best strategy moving forward in this continually shifting market. Homes aren't selling as quickly, and in most cases, price reductions are becoming pretty common. Gloria also said that earlier this year, with low inventory, sellers didn't need a strategy to sell homes because homes were listed and sold immediately. Now more than ever, it's crucial to have a proven strategy to get your home sold, and that's why I strongly suggest you call local real estate expert Gloria Liu before you list your home to get the absolute most money. Gloria is so confident that she will sell your home, she'll guarantee in writing upfront to sell it at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she'll buy your home herself. Learn more by calling Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Bill talks about why he loves 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
I was looking to renovate a home that I purchased. They came out, did all of the work in a timely fashion, and looks first rate.
Bill, would you recommend 3-Day Kitchen and Bath?
Oh, yes, definitely. Not only because of the quality of the work, but also the quality of the service along the line. From the beginning until the end, that they were there and with me. And as we went along, I saw some things that I thought I might want to change, and we're happy to do that. Really pleased with the way they work. As I said, not only the quality of the work, but also the quality of the service along the way.
It's about time.
3 days or less
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Tom Ackerman here for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/communitybanking. This month, the United Way celebrates 100 years of helping those in our region. And of course, Busey Bank continues its long-standing involvement. Our October podcast focuses on what the United Way means to our community and the many ways you can get involved. Listen to our October podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/communitybanking.
Park Provence, an assisted living and skilled nursing memory care community, understands the challenges when caring for a loved one with dementia or other forms of memory loss. You're not alone. Park Provence is a trusted expert in memory care and recently recognized as a best memory care community by U.S. News and World Reports. Call 314-452-5200. Or to learn more, parkprovence.com. That's PARC Provence.com.
Local news and information direct to your smart speaker. Just say, play KMOX.
All right, 10:20 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. So we'll move from one education-related, although the first one wasn't really related to education, much more just school grounds and contamination, which is now being addressed with students and teachers and everybody being moved out of Jana Elementary for the time being. There's another story in the news as well, and it's fascinating to me. I mean, we are, we talk a lot about shortages of employees for various jobs around the country. It's that kind of thing that's happening all over the country. It's also happening with teachers in the state of Missouri. And according to the piece in the Post-Dispatch, 1,500 teachers short of what
Over
we should be.
1,500.
Well, it's 1,500 just regular teachers, and I think it's another 800 or 900 special ed jobs that are open.
Right. It's about 800 special ed jobs that still need to be fulfilled. And these are numbers going back to last year.
Right.
And that to me, that really seems like a pretty big deficit. And I know that for some people, there are a lot, maybe not a majority of people, but there are too many who believe the teaching profession is nonsense. And, teachers, they only work 9 months out of the year and they get 3 months off. And, their work day is 7 to 3 and they get to go home. And it's not really true in most cases. Teachers work very hard. They some do. I mean, some don't. Most of them do. And most of them really, it's like any profession. Yeah. I mean, there are doctors who don't really care all that much, I bet. But when you talk about what these folks do on a daily basis and how important the work actually is, your kids are there all day. This is where your kids are getting a good foundation of knowledge. I mean, some of it they're getting at home, or they should be getting at home, but they go to school and they learn things. They learn about history. They learn math. They learn things that are going to be important to them down the line. Why should we not take better care of them? And I was really struck by the recommendations of the Blue Ribbon Commission that the state had brought in to try and help them figure out how to fill some of these vacancies. And they have 3 tiers of a plan that they have suggested, that they have recommended to the state in how to fill some of these teaching positions. They have the immediate, the short term, and the long term planks to the plan. The very first thing they said that needed to be done immediately was the first thing that really punched me in the face. Increase the minimum starting teacher salary from $25,000 to $38,000. That's a significant jump, but it's not about the jump. It's about how low that first number is.
That's a
You're
great
telling
jump,
me that to be a teacher somewhere in the state, and it's not every school district, it's not every town,
right,
but there are some in this state where you come out of college and they expect you to do this job for $25,000.
Coming out of years of school, not just 4-year undergrad, but extra school, but to be certified as a teacher.
So I'm a little confused by the 28,000, only because
38,000.
No, the 38 I see how Parson, that was part of the bill that Parson supported, was to raise the starting salary to 38,000. I'm on the NEA.org, and Missouri, which I did know was the second lowest starting salary in the country. They have it listed at 33. Only Montana at 32 is below us.
Okay, the number, I don't know, the number here reported by the Post-Dispatch is 25,000. Or actually, that's from the Blue Ribbon Commission.
It's from the commission.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's $25,000. So, I don't know. I guess I would take their numbers. I don't know. Maybe there could be a discrepancy somewhere. But that's really low.
Yeah. And
that's
either way,
absurdly low.
Either way, we talked yesterday in a topic that was a totally different tone of people charging former employees for their training. But we talked about how important it is, if you want good employees, if you want people to desire jobs, you have to make them desirable by paying people more and or making the workplace a little bit more fun or a little easier. That's going to be, I think every teacher knows exactly what they're getting into when they choose that career. You know, my sister is a teacher. I have 2 great friends from high school that are teachers. I have friends from college that are teachers. I have cousins. I know a lot of people that chose that profession. They knew what they were getting into. They knew what the grind was. They know that you're always dealing with different classes and every kid's different. Every situation's different. They knew all of that. So the one way that you can recruit people is to give them a little bit more to work with financially. Because really, you're not going to change the job too much, right? There's not much you're going to do that changes the reality of the day-to-day for a teacher.
Well, right. And again, there's so much context that needs to be considered here. When you're looking at class sizes, you're looking at the school district, the supplies, the support. You're looking at, whether the areas you're dealing with are underserved, underprivileged, and the kids have a lot of obstacles that they have to overcome even to show up to school. What state of mind are they in when they're in the classroom? There are all of these things to take into account, because it is interesting on average, as low as the starting salaries are for public teachers in the state of Missouri. And that was, Ranj, from the NEA, It was an average starting salary, so perhaps that was the as low as.
This is called the minimum starting salary.
Yep. And this was the average starting salary was 33. So that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm looking at numbers, and these are from 2 years ago. It's a compilation of numbers, and it's from STL today. And you go to some districts like Winfield, which is north of St. Louis. I know it's probably about an hour or so north of St. Louis. The median salary is $36,000. In Clayton, it's $79,000.
Nice.
So, I mean, there are massive differences in certain areas, but $25,000?
Well,
come on.
If you got to fill the jobs, you're going to have to offer more to get people to want to take those jobs and train for those jobs as well. All right, money and politics is the topic when we come back after the news.
Weeknights at 6. It's the Meyer Jensen Sports Open Line.
Welcome into the program. My name is Matt Pauley.
Matt gets you inside the world of sports. Cardinals, Chiefs, Pelicans. You'll get it all and much more.
We have an exclusive podcast that's Cardinals related called Cardscast.
Plus great guests, insight, and conversations with you.
If you want to join us, you can do so by calling or texting.
The Meyer Jensen Sports Open Line on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
This month's Zero Res special. The more you clean, the more you save. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 or 5 rooms starting at $199. A 43% savings. Take $75 off any air duct cleaning package. Call 314-474-2020 or go to ZeroResSTL.com.
Your favorite holiday events are right here around the corner in Belleville, Illinois. It all starts with the Optimist Club Santa Claus Parade on Friday, November 25th at 10 a.m. You'll find great gift ideas at our wonderful German open-air market, the Chris Kindle Mart. Plus, we'll have free trolley rides on the weekends. From restaurants to shops and entertainment venues throughout our downtown, there is no shortage of holiday fun to be had in our great big small town. Visit belleville.net/holidays for more information. Brought to you in part by the Illinois Office of Tourism and Illinois South Tourism.
Hey, Ed Brock, everybody. If you love Halloween like I do yourself a favor and visit Johnny Brock's Dungeon. Why shop those tiny pop-up shops when you can shop 30,000 square feet of locally owned Halloween fun? We're open all year at I-44 in Jefferson on the edge of Soulard. Johnny Brock's Dungeon, a St. Louis must-see.
What's more American than baseball, apple pie, and voting? I'm Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft. Voting is a right and a responsibility. On Election Day, November 8th, if you're registered, you can vote by showing a valid photo ID or casting a provisional ballot. Before you vote, research the issues and the candidates. Missouri has accessible, secure, accurate elections. Make your voice heard and vote.
Sponsored by Missouri Secretary of State, sos.mo.gov.
At 10:30, we have 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. The radioactive waste found at Jana Elementary in Florissant has caught the attention of doctors.
Well, there are generally 2 types of health concerns that we consider with radiation.
CNN medical contributor Dr. Lena Wen.
The first is acute radiation sickness, which is what happens when you get a lot of radiation all at the same time. That's not the case here. Here, the concern is with chronic cumulative exposure over a longer period of time, which has been associated with a higher lifetime risk of cancers like leukemia and even some other health effects such as birth defects.
The idea to distribute Jana Elementary students around to other Hazelwood District schools does not sit well with parents who say there was enough time to make a better plan since suspecting radioactive waste on the campus. President Biden is expected to announce today the release of another 15 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is the last of the 180 million barrels Mr. Biden authorized to sell last March when gas prices started soaring as a result of the war in Ukraine. BMW will invest $1 billion in its sprawling factory near Spartanburg, South Carolina, to start building electric vehicles, and an additional $700 million to build an electric battery plant nearby. There's a stalled vehicle 64 westbound past Spirit of St. Louis Boulevard. It's on the right shoulder, and a stall at Revis. A stalled vehicle 55 southbound before Revis Barracks Road. That is on the right shoulder. The KMOX forecast for this afternoon. Look for mainly sunny skies, seasonably cool this afternoon. The high 53 degrees. For tonight, partly cloudy and cold. Look for an overnight low between 30 and 35 degrees. Right now, it is sunny, 41, feels like 35 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Hey, I'm Fami Redwood, host of the podcast Beyond Black History Month. Here's reason number 568 million of why you should be listening. From in-depth reporting on the shortage of black sperm to how one House of the Dragon star is dealing with online trolls who don't love seeing black dragon riders.
I can't lose sleep over that, over worrying about things that are beyond my control.
Listen and subscribe to Beyond Black History Month on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
Sunday, it's the Chiefs and 49ers, and you can hear the game here. Pre-game coverage at 2, kickoff 3:25. Kansas City, San Francisco, this Sunday. Touchdown! Kansas City! On your home for Chiefs football, KMOX.
.34 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. It's a topic I come back to a lot. I know, Ranji, we've talked about it. The two of us have talked about it just like in the offices. Amy, you and I have talked about the same thing as well. And we brought it up. I brought it up a number of times to Hancock and Kelly over the years. Just money in politics and how big it is. Is it okay the way that it is? What changes can we make? This is just simply a number that I saw reported yesterday that's kind of staggering. I believe it was from 538.com. But in 2020, we spent as a country, I shouldn't say we, but people running for office spent $9 billion doing so. $9 billion on the 2020 election.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be higher in 2022 for the midterms. It's going to be closer to $10 billion in a non-presidential year. Maybe it's just my perception. That just seems like so much.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
like I think unnecessary to be. I mean, we have really allowed this to become about money, where the more money you have, the more it increases your chances of winning. And it shouldn't be about who can buy the most ad time or who can get the most face time because they have the money to spend. I mean, it should be about the quality of your ideas.
Well, it's never been that. And I asked John Hancock too. I said, well, if you had to pick one, a campaign with a lot of money or a campaign with a lot of name recognition, which one would you choose? And he said, well, money is name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
No, you're right.
So, it's just the way it's always been. As these issues become more heated, the political environment is very, very fraught right now with a lot of tension, a lot of strong feelings, a lot of strong emotions. And so people are not just donating more money, or you're not only just seeing these big donors, but they're being vocal about it. And I think as long as we have this politically charged environment, of course, money is going to go there. People are going to take action.
The problem with it, more than just acquiring the name recognition, it's what companies in particular, and I do believe, I'm going to say this, before I say this, I want to preface it with, there's got to be some money in politics. I think we all agree on that. There has to be something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't work, because you can't have advertising. You can't try to get your message out. It's a lot more difficult to do. There needs to be at least some level of it. What we're talking about is the absurd level of money. And now that corporations can shovel as much money as they want to in a particular candidate, it's what the corporations, in particular, the larger entities, are able to buy with that money. That's the problem. And it might be, hey, guys, we got a lot of problems here. But that might be our number one problem in politics, is what these super PACs, what these PACs are able to do what they're able to purchase, the loyalty they're able to purchase because of the amount of money they spend with candidates. That's the problem, because then the candidates stop serving people. And I know there's always been some level of that, but it is outrageously worse now than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Again, I think it just comes down to this environment has gotten incredibly tense, and the vitriol from one side to the next, you're just seeing that increase. There's always been money in politics. I mean, always.
Right.
It's always been
But it's
driven
worse
by
after
money.
Citizens United. It's a lot worse.
And also, just because it's always been that way doesn't mean it should continue.
Because you have these super PACs, and we
Right. Yeah,
talked so much
that's it.
about the campaign money and how any attempts to have more transparency in campaign financing has actually made it worse. It's interesting, again, because you're seeing big names step up, you're seeing big contributions, which has happened before, but the Nike co-founder, Phil Knight, so he has given $1 million to the Republican candidate for governor, Christine Drazan, and he's also given $3.75 million to the independent candidate, Betsy Johnson, because he does not want the Democratic candidate, Tina Kotek, to win. Currently, the Democratic governor of Oregon, Kate Brown, she's unable to run again because of term limits. She has been historically very unpopular. And so Phil Knight has said he has had it with the super progressive policies in Oregon. Here's one of his quotes. Oh, go ahead.
How do you run out of term in your term limits, but you're supremely unpopular?
Because she had been elected.
That's my
So,
point.
yeah, how do you keep
getting reelected
if you're
to the point
unpopular?
where you can't be anymore if you're super unpopular?
Think of her last term.
Okay.
So she can't even run again. Is that the question you're asking?
This is my point, is you've kind of run out the options that you have.
You've gone
stayed
as far
long
as you can go,
can.
then how could you be unpopular? How do you keep getting reelected if you're unpopular?
I mean, you
is
could
what
be
he's saying.
unpopular with a certain group of people, but clearly a lot of people wanted that person there.
Well, but you can also lose popularity, as we've seen with Joe Biden. She lost popularity during this
Fair.
last term.
Fair.
So while she did win the last term, she has lost popularity. Think of COVID, inflation, the way you handle the schools. All of that is going to determine how people feel about you.
And by the way, yes, you're right. And people are going to judge politicians based on those things over the last few years.
Mhm.
I think there's going to be a time like 15, 20 years from now when you can start to be honest and assess the time that happened before. And I think we're going to look back on those times and wonder why we were so ridiculous toward politicians who are actually trying to do some good and protect us from COVID. I know people are going to disagree with that now, but I think there's going to be a time where we look back at all that pushback and say, what the hell were people thinking then?
I mean, I think it's fair to say, how do you act during a crisis? Of course, we're doing our best, and people can make mistakes. We know that. She, with her policies with schools, the way she handled testing and all of that, I know was a big deal. Again, she's the governor of Oregon. I'm just going by
and navigating
what the
a thing,
numbers say.
right? And navigating a thing that was very unusual and something we've never dealt with. But the greater overall point is that a level of money that Phil Knight's able to give. And look, if an individual wants to spend a lot of money, I guess that's okay. But why don't we consider a cap? Why don't we consider look? You can spend money on a campaign as an individual, but you can't spend more than this.
Well, and again, people may disagree with this. This is Phil Knight's reason. He wasn't talking about COVID, although I'm sure that leads into it. This was the quote that I saw that was kind of funny. He said, one of the political cartoons after our legislative session had a person snorting cocaine out of a mountain of white, Knight told the New York Times. It said, which of these is illegal in Oregon? And the answer was the plastic straw. That was because Oregon has decriminalized the possession, personal use of small amounts of drugs like cocaine, heroin, and LSD. But they banned plastic straws in 2019, regardless of how you feel. It's a funny observation and a fair observation that Phil Knight made. But again, it's interesting that he's throwing his money behind both the Republican candidate and the independent candidate.
Well, that happens a lot. Well, I don't know if it happens a lot where the independent and one of the other parties gets the money, but not the other. I think there are people who give to both.
Oh, yeah.
Companies give to both so that they have some influence no matter who wins.
Right.
That
of course.
happens all the time.
Now, let me ask you, again, this is a philosophical question. I think most people disagree with me on this, and I think a lot of people disagree with me strongly on it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why should your wealth give you more influence than any other human being?
Well-
Why? No, I mean, follow me.
Yeah.
It should be one person, one vote. But if you want to use your voice to advocate for somebody, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. But why are we okay with your voice being money?
It's the law of the conservation of elites. It is. Whether
This is my point.
yeah,
right.
whether you're
It's-
talking about communist societies, socialist societies, monarchies, or democracies, the law of the conservation of elites says there will always be a group of people that eventually filters out and starts exerting more power.
why do the rest of us allow it?
It's just it's
why
human
are we
nature.
okay? I know I get it, but why are we okay with, well, if you're rich, you get to influence these elections directly and far more than any other individual. I mean, again, if you want to get out, and as Phil Knight is a public person, he's a celebrity, he's well known. If he wants to go make speeches and convince people, that's fine. No problem. Any of us can try to do that. We can try to advocate for people that we want, but we are literally okay with the super rich people just buying influence and influencing how our states are going to be run, who's going to be the president of the United States. And we're like, yeah, that's fine. That's totally fair.
Well,
you get 100,000 votes for you because of the influence you carry. I get one vote.
I don't disagree with you on principle because that does not help a society function well.
Yes.
Because it doesn't help the greater number of people. There are always going to be, no matter what happens, a group of super wealthy people who will end up having some kind of influence.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could do things. We could pass laws and have regulations on campaign donations that limit the amount of influence they have. But there's always going to be some.
We've had
You're not going to get rid of it altogether.
We've had more regulations about what a college football player can take from a booster over the last 50 years than we have for how someone can influence the presidency.
And we're finally coming around
the
on
Senate.
that.
No, I know. And
You know?
again, I know this is never going to change. I know.
Right.
I'm realistic. The entire history of the world has been this way. The people who have wealth have power. Those who have power keep it by asserting that power in various ways when it comes to whether it's backing the right king, or in these cases now in the modern times, putting all of your money behind the candidates that you want to have there. What I'm pointing out is we all just sit back and are like, okay, like why are we not more frustrated by that regardless of our party? And then also, please just stop telling me about the fairy tale. Stop with the one person, one vote nonsense, because that's not what it is. My vote means nothing.
Well, it's certainly not true.
My
And
opinions mean,
yeah.
and this is saying this as somebody who gets to talk on the radio. My opinion means nothing compared to someone like Phil Knight.
Yeah. I mean, again, we can look at regulations and laws to try to curb abuses of the system, but the reality of human existence is there are people with different skill sets, there are people with different drives, people with different intellect, and all of that will create people with different wealth. In this world, which is a currency-driven world, wealth is power. Power can lead to more wealth, and it's also subjective because here we are saying, oh, the wealthy people run everything, whereas there are people in developing countries looking at the U.S. saying, well, because the U.S. is such a wealthy country, it gets to determine the direction of the rest of the world.
100%.
So again, it's all relative, and there will always be unequal sets of skills and abilities, which will create in a world of people who are motivated and incentivized by what's good for them and their families in power. There will always be this power imbalance.
There's always going to be.
What's the best
yes.
system?
But there's always going to be an imbalance to an extent, but it doesn't have to be as bad as it is now. Like, that's a thing we could actually do something about. Text messages to 314-436-7900. If you take money out of politics, the media has too much power.
Where do you think that money goes?
I mean, I don't. That's.
I mean,
exactly.
they're literally empowering media companies by giving them money.
But exactly.
Can you read the text again? What did it say?
If you take money out of politics, the media has too much power.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. It's not. It's just a media.
No,
I hate
but
the media.
Here's how
kind of thing. I'm sure.
Here's how I interpret that. I interpret that as saying, well, then ours are the voices that are being heard because we're on the radio, on the mic, on TV, whatever.
You know who has less power than ever, aside from the cable news? I understand, like Tucker Carlson, #1 show in the country and all of that. But we've said this before, politicians are not reliant on us anymore to get their message out.
Not
You've
like
got
they used to be,
social
yeah.
media. You've got
No.
all these different avenues where they can get their message out, and they are.
No, and
But
people honestly should trust real journalists more than they do, because those messages you're talking about where politicians can use Twitter, can use Facebook, whatever, to get their message out, that's their sanitized message they want to give you. The only people who are able to drag out of them real answers to real questions are actual journalists, if they'll grant interviews, if they'll talk to you. So,
especially when you don't need to.
If you will grant an interview to an outlet that's not going to throw you softballs, because there are way too many of those.
But as we talked about, why? Why would you?
Right.
You don't need to.
Oh, we talk about it on the show all the time.
I know. I agree. I mean, it's definitely one of those things that would be nice if it wasn't that way anymore, but part of the deal at this point. And again, I'll realize the real world versus the ideal world. The ideal is not going to happen. It just sometimes gets the better of me. When I see like $10 billion being spent, I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great. So those people can all just continue to steer the ship without the rest of us. Next up, we go to trending here on the show.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. As autumn temperatures get cooler, here are some simple things you can do to help out the environment. Remove any window air conditioners. Check windows and door seals for proper insulation to keep heat in and cold air out. And check your furnace, making sure it's clean, and replace the air filter with a new one to keep it running at peak efficiency all winter long. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic.
Probiotics? They don't really work. It's time to learn the truth about probiotics from Align, the probiotic brand recommended by gastroenterologists 2 times more than any other probiotic brand. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel at AlignProbiotics.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey there, it's Hancock and Kelly for First Mid-Bank and Trust, a local bank right here in St. Louis with over 157 years of experience and 19 locations across the greater St. Louis area.
Yeah, First Mid-Bank and Trust is perfect for small business owners. You need a partner that you can count on, and that is First Mid-Bank and Trust, and they're great for everybody, whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement. Check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at ThrottleNet. These are the genius IT guys that I've been representing for years and years now. We are number one all the time. Best in customer service from Small Business Monthly. Best in cybersecurity, again, Small Business Monthly. We have an average response time. I love this statistic. The average response time in St. Louis in 2020 by IT companies. You have a problem, you reach out to them, hey, I'm all shut down, help me, was 3 hours. If you got back within 3 hours, you were cool. Ours was 1 minute, 57 seconds, and the guys were very unhappy with that. It takes less than 2 minutes for us to address your problems. Here's a huge thing. We are now offering $500,000 in ransom protection to everyone who uses us. This is part of the deal. You don't pay extra for it. So if you happen to be hit and you have to pay, we're going to pay it up to $500,000. Now, this shows you how confident we are because no one under our protection has ever had to pay. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS.
The Center for Hearing and Speech empowers communication. To see how they can help you, call 314-968-4710 or go to chsstl.org.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Fall into a hiring spree with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. They're back.
Three best friends. Yeah, the three amigos.
Yeah. Kevin, Chris, and Amy, the show.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, trending is brought to you by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. Did you raise your hand, Amy? Like we're in school?
I did.
Go.
I raised my hand.
I'm calling on you in class. Go.
Okay. Henry Blake is trending.
Wait.
Henry
The MASH guy?
Blake. That's exactly right. Did you know who that was?
Say that
Ranj?
again?
Henry Blake is trending.
Okay.
Okay. And Kevin got it right. It's the MASH guy. So do you know why it's trending? It's because Eric Alper on Twitter asked, what was the saddest death in any TV series? And a lot of people are responding with Henry Blake.
Do you remember that, Ron?
No. Who's that?
So he was the colonel for the MASH unit. Pretty well liked. He was not, I mean, by the people, I mean, like by the characters. He was a popular guy. He got sent home. He was done going home. Helicopter gets shot down.
Ugh.
He dies.
Oh.
It was like this celebration, right? They're all stuck in Korea. They're all stuck in war. And he gets home and everybody's so happy for him. And they're
This was the show, MASH.
Yeah, the show MASH.
Yeah, I didn't really watch. My
And
dad was into it.
It was a great show. I watched it as a kid. I don't think I got it as much as I probably would have
Yeah.
if I watched it when I was older. But that was a big one. I remember that episode to a T. I remember them standing there waving to him as his helicopter's taking off.
Do you
And then
see
they
it get shot?
No. They
Oh,
bring that
okay.
news back a little bit later on. Yeah.
Yeah, really, really sad. And it's an interesting question, too, of television series.
Can't really. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of
know.
any others. I mean, well, The Red Wedding.
That wasn't sad. That was just like it was. Oh my! Well, here I think if you watched it in real time, you were probably just stunned.
I was.
more
I
than
literally went, what?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of reaction videos of people watching that happen. Like what? Well, I knew it before I started the series. I knew it happened because it was such a big deal, and people wouldn't stop talking about it. And by the time I caught up with it, I knew it was going to happen. I can't think of a really sad death otherwise.
I mean,
one that really got to me.
I can think of one that I cried at. It was from the Golden Girls, and I'm not kidding. It was Sophia, the old lady. Her son died, and Dorothy, it was her brother. And Sophia had accepted accepted her son because he liked to dress in women's clothing and all of that. I mean, this was the 80s, right? And she basically really struggled with accepting him and who he was. I don't think they used the word transgender, but she had trouble accepting him. He dies and she comes to grips with the fact that she never accepted him. And then the show ends with her finally accepting him. And he said, "My baby is dead." And everyone's crying and I am sobbing. It's the saddest episode of the Golden Girls I've ever seen.
I don't remember this at all.
We got a text 314, the show ER when Lucy died. I didn't see that one, I don't think. But I know that was a big one.
I didn't
that
watch
series.
that show.
I did for a lot of years, and then after I got older, I mean, I guess like trailed off and didn't watch it anymore.
Guys, want to know what else is trending today?
What else is trending?
Bader.
Vader?
Bader.
Harrison Bader.
B-A-D-E-R, as in Harrison Bader.
Yeah.
Who is moving on to the ALCS
Is this
with
all
his
the
New York Yankees.
Is this all the Yankee fans still mad that they acquired him for
No.
Jordan Montgomery? Are they still mad?
No, it's videos of him celebrating in the locker room, spraying champagne after finishing off the Cleveland Guardians last night. Bader, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention, he's got 3 home runs in this postseason. He's got 4 hits. 3 of them are home runs.
I believe he's the first player to do that, to never homer in the regular season and then hit multiple home runs in the postseason.
Crazy. Hey, we got clarification on that MASH scene from
Yes.
a texter, 618. Says when Radar walked in, I didn't know this about this scene. Says when Radar walked into the hospital with the message about Henry Blake's plane crash, the entire cast had no idea what the scene was going to be.
Oh, no.
So their acting was actually
Real.
reacting to a shock, to a surprise, to something they didn't know was going to happen.
Oh,
Great.
wow. That's very well done.
Great tidbit, 618. I did not know that. Oh, by the way, another text. I think it's the same texter. Henry Blake was heading home to Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh!
I was just there.
Hey, Bloomington, Illinois. Go
Shout out
Redbirds.
Will.
Redbirds. All right, coming up next.
Normal, whatever.
Next up, we're talking about swear words on the show.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Shopping around for new HVAC systems is something nobody ever wants on their to-do list. So let's help make things easier with free estimates on new equipment, up to $2,150 on Carrier Cool Cash rebates, and 0% financing for up to 72 months. With over 50 years of award-winning service, you can trust Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling with your new system install. For details and to get in your comfort zone, contact Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Get your car at your price at Bomarito. Shop thousands of new vehicles at our state-of-the-art sales and service facility. Our product specialists will make your experience quick and easy. Or just browse, view, and buy 100% online with Bomarito Fast Pass. Let's get more for your trade and the Bomarito nationwide warranty. 10 years, 200,000 miles. A better experience, a better price. Go with the automotive leader, Bomarito. Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at Bomarito.com.
2022 is the year for that diamond upgrade. Time to go from a 1 carat to a 2 carat, or a 2 carat up to a 4 or 5 carat. It's true, going bigger is in, but that doesn't mean you have to overpay or compromise on quality. Diamonds Direct is your best destination for large, unique, and rare diamonds. These are exquisite, hand-picked precious diamonds from 2 carats to 20 carats, in all shapes, independently graded by the GIA. These diamonds have all been chosen for maximum brilliance. Best part, Diamonds Direct's stunning large diamonds are sourced from the best ethical diamond cutters around the globe, purchased exclusively for our showroom, and free from any broker or middleman upcharges. This means you can go bigger with the confidence that you're getting the highest quality at the best possible price nationwide. You see, at Diamonds Direct, we're more than just another jewelry store. We're the nation's true diamond experts with unrivaled selection, uncompromising standards, and unbeatable value. Let us prove it today with your diamond upgrade. Diamonds Direct. Get directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-328-8000.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunshine and 43 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. Here is our top story. The head of the Jana Elementary PTA says relocating students will tear apart a community.
A school building can be contaminated and may need remediation or need to have things fixed. That is no reason to throw away a shining star like Jana Elementary's school community.
Ashley Burnaugh was a guest on Total Information AM this morning, reacting to a decision by the school board last night to relocate students to other schools. A report has confirmed radioactive contamination at the school. Burnaugh says she's extremely disappointed in the lack of focus on the needs of Jana Elementary's children, parents, and staff. A woman in town for a crime scene investigation seminar who was raped in her hotel room has received a massive settlement from a St. Louis jury, $177 million. The New Jersey Sheriff's deputy was in her room at the Hyatt Regency at the Arch in 2016 when security guard David White used his master key to get into her room. He pleaded guilty to misdemeanor sexual abuse and got probation. British Prime Minister Liz Truss stands defiant against calls to resign. Truss faced her critics during a stormy session of Parliament today, telling members she is a fighter, not a quitter. She admitted she had made mistakes during her short tenure, but defended her motives.
I am somebody who's prepared to front up. I'm prepared to take the tough decisions.
Truss has been under fire over her botched economic plan. Here's something else you can blame on the pandemic: kids not being ready for kindergarten. KCBS reporter Matt Bigler has the results of a new survey from the San Francisco Bay Area.
In 2019, only 44% of children were ready to enter kindergarten in Alameda County. That was concerning, but a new survey finds that percentage has dropped 11 points during the pandemic.
I dare say it's nothing short of a crisis.
Kristen Spanos is with First 5 California.
4 out of 5 of those students are not reading at grade level. Third grade is a predictor of high school graduation.
She blames the drop in school readiness on COVID, but also the rising cost of living. The solution, she says, is more funding for programs to help low-income families enroll in preschool. Matt Bigler for CBS News, San Francisco.
And the First Mid-Bank and Trust business desk, a St. Louis-based specialty coffee roaster with 3 coffee bars in the area, is opening a new roastery in Botanical Heights. The 11,000-square-foot building on 39th and Blaine was once a Kroger grocery store, then a manufacturing facility. When the new roastery is set to open next year, Blueprint Coffee will be able to take the roasting function off its Del Mar Loop location and add additional seating there. The Dow is up 11 points at 30,534. There's a stalled vehicle South Allenton Six Flags Road at 44 eastbound. The right lane is closed there. It could be closed for another 30 minutes. And a stalled 64 westbound past Boone's Crossing. It is on the right shoulder. The KMOX forecast.
All about sunshine on this Wednesday afternoon, but boy, it's chilly again. 52 for the high. The average high this time of year, 68. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 40s for evening plans, 33 for the cold overnight low. Thursday, sunny and 68. Friday, sunny, 75. Saturday and Sunday, sunshine, 78. Another big-time temperature flip on the way. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We have sunny skies and 43 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
It's 11:04 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy.
I literally told him.
Where the hell's Chris?
I literally told him, hey, Chris, we have a show. And he said, and I quote, no, we don't.
Oh, the best part about it is that we're talking about swearing.
Yeah.
And I believe this was his idea. It's a great story, by the way, because it goes into hey, welcome.
No, he was bothering Trish Gazal.
No, and then
he was bothering Trish Gazal, who's trying to
was,
get ready for her own show.
As I was, their show's in like 4 hours, and then as I was leaving, Rob Kramer, is he our general sale? What is he? He's like a sales guy. GSM. This guy's bothering me in the hallway. Talking about this poster we have with autographs on it. And I'm like, Rob, I got a show to do.
Was he physically blocking you?
Yeah.
Because Rob's pretty skinny. You could have gone right past him.
And I don't want to waste time because this is a great topic. But I just want to say, Kevin Wheeler, I just want to say, Ranji is always the botherer. And shout out to our newsroom who does
They love me.
They do such a great
job. They love me.
Doing serious work, breaking down the news. When this clown over here, every commercial break likes to bother them.
They love me.
I mean,
Damn
I
it.
think they do.
I don't think
they do.
I think they do. I'm with Ranji.
I think it bothers
Beth
you.
under the bus. Beth hates you.
No.
No, she didn't.
She does not. Oh, by the way, before we get into this thing, which is awesome, yesterday Beth is wearing. Beth is our news director, and she was wearing a sweater vest with a crisp white collared shirt under
very
it.
sharp look.
Yeah, I loved it.
Super cute.
And I said, "Hey, I like your sweater vest." And then she said, "Oh, thank you." And then she walked away, and then I walked the other direction. She goes right into the office where you two are and says, "Is there something wrong with this vest?"
She goes, is my swetter stupid? It's stupid, isn't it?
Because Ranji just said it was nice.
Yeah.
And I said, no, listen. Yeah, I said, if he really wanted to make fun, I don't think that's how it would be. I think you can take that as a serious compliment.
Right. She goes, because everything he says is mean or sarcastic. So when he told me he liked my sweater, she's like, now I feel bad that my sweater is stupid. And I said, no, if he didn't like your sweater, he would have walked by and said, hey, nice sweater, dork.
Yeah, right. He would have added something to let you know. Yeah, I would agree. It's not that everything's that with him. It's just 90%.
99.
All right, let's move on before I use one of these words.
All right, Ranj, tell us about the damn story.
So, there's a website which I believe is reputable. It's called
Word tips.
Word Tips.
Okay.
Word Tips is the website. And so Word Tips, like this is reputable.
Shakespeare was a big fan of that website. He would always go to Word Tips when he
Yep.
was writing
Once
his
more to
plays.
the breach, dear friends, with Word Tips.
Yep.
Word Tips has analyzed the use of swear words
Nice.
all over the country. And what they have done is they went to social media platforms, I believe Facebook in particular, also on Twitter. They use Twitter as well. And they measured all the swear words and which state uses what words the most.
Okay.
So Word Tips has figured out each state's favorite cuss word.
Yep.
Want to guess what Missouri's is?
Okay,
Well,
that's
By the way,
let's put it this way.
it's the only one we can say.
Is it?
What?
Yes.
No. We can say Idaho's.
No.
Idaho's is crap. We can say crap.
I thought Missouri's
Idaho's is crap. Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's
Arizona,
so lame.
Arizona and Nevada is damn. We can say damn.
Okay, so it's one of three.
I don't say that one.
Yeah,
Our
but you can. You won't
according-
get in trouble.
According to this,
Can I guess?
Yeah,
My
go
guess
ahead. Go ahead.
for Missouri would be the big bad one.
No.
No.
It's
It's another one you can say on the radio.
you can
Oh, that's
say it
what
on
you
the
said.
radio.
You can say it on the radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell.
Oh,
Is that a
Hell.
bad word? So I will say
mean,
this,
I don't even
guys.
think that's a swear word.
Like
is
what
it?
the hell when you say what the hell, but that's not. People say that all the time.
I'm on the
How
fence
boring
with
are
hell.
we?
Yeah.
We are so boring. That's our favorite swear word is hell.
I think I've said hell like 3 or 4 times on the radio. Like, what the
yeah.
You can say
hell?
that.
I
yeah.
know, but it kind of flirts with danger. And I thought, I think this is okay because I don't cuss. Not so much the radio, but I
In
don't
general,
cuss in
yeah.
general. And then Kevin Killeen said, Amy, I'm disappointed in you. You said a bad word. And I've been thinking about that for 17 months.
What was it?
It was hell.
Hell? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Remember when you asked me that one time? I think you said crap and you're like, is that okay?
I
I'm like,
thought
what are
we
you
were gonna have
talking
to
about?
dump
Yeah,
it.
that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my God, that's
now,
a-
the states
oh,
we're
wow.
surrounded by are getting after it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Look, once again, Kansas and Illinois are passing us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look
They-
at Kansas
oh,
and Illinois.
Yeah, Kansas and Illinois use the bad
They
one,
use
like
the
the
bomb.
really
But
bad
it's not,
one with
it's not
the
just the bomb, it's the bomb with the extra at the beginning.
Yeah,
It's got
with the M in
mother on
front
the
of it.
You
beginning,
can
yeah.
say
Yes.
the first word.
Mother, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't say
But
the other
stop
part.
there, though.
Right.
And Indiana. Those 3 states are really getting after
I'm
it.
kind
and
of surprised
God
with-
bless them.
I'm kind of surprised with Kansas because I would put them in the Missouri, Midwest, sweetheart type of people. Don't like to.
Well, I
like
mean,
to
if
they
you
don't
look
have-
around at the rest of the Midwest, Amy, they're not. When it comes to language, it ain't about the sweethearts. Ask Iowa.
Iowa's not the Midwest.
Sure, it is.
Look, everybody always talks about how different we all are in each state.
Yeah.
First of all, the South, like all the states that are in the SEC, they all love one word.
Yep.
Florida, Alabama,
yeah.
Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas
You know
all
why?
use it's the S one.
Yep.
They use that one and they
Yep.
love it. But California and Texas and
They're the
Oklahoma, they got a
same.
lot more in common than they think because they all love the same swear word.
They like the F bomb.
Yes,
But
they
maybe
do.
it's because so many Californians have moved to Texas that they brought that word with them.
No.
Hmm.
But I
Do you
would agree,
think-
Ron. That's a good point. That this map shows with all of these different favorite curse words,
Yeah.
how states that are supposed to be really, really different
Yes.
are actually kind of the same.
Now, they are. And what's really, I think one of the other interesting things they point out, they measured the times in which these words were used the most. There were 2 dates in 2021. Well, actually, one in 2021, one in 22, when swear words were used the most around the country.
Uh-huh.
You want to take a guess what 2021 was? What date in 2021?
January 6th.
January 6th.
January 6th.
More
Did
people were on.
happen?
More? No.
Was that a Saturday?
No, Amy, it's just a bunch of tourists.
Listen, unless there's a commission about it, I don't know what happened.
Well, it's just a bunch of tourists having a good time showing themselves around the hallways of the Capitol. But more people used swear words on that day on social media than any other day of 2021.
Wow.
This year, can you take a guess?
This year?
Yes, this year.
2022.
What date was the high water date for swearing?
Oh,
I don't
And
know.
it's actually kind of bad.
it was. I was going to
It's
say
very bad.
it's one of the shootings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Uvalde.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah, so people were using swear words a lot on that day, and that's rightful. I mean, people were very angry about what was going on, and they should be.
You know which states swear the least?
Um,
According to this?
Swear the least.
The least.
Yep. Vermont and
Utah.
Alaska are the least.
Oh.
And
then
that's-
Utah and Iowa after that. And then it's Missouri and Montana.
Oh, come on.
Really?
Why are we so boring?
Because Utah would have been my only guess. I will say this with how we have so much in common, except for Alaska.
Oh, I'm wrong. Sorry. West Virginia and Minnesota are the least, and then those others follow immediately
Okay.
after them. Yeah.
Well, we should, the caveat here, or the thing to note here, is that it's the swearing rate.
Right.
So, like,
not the
Per-
numbers, but per 1,000 posts.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Minnesota's a bit of a
How
surprise.
about the ones that swear the most?
Now, I would have thought, and I see the states, one of them I totally get. One of them I absolutely get. Two of them I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the one you get is, I'm guessing, in the South?
Maryland.
Oh, you get that one.
I do kind of get it because Baltimore, they're probably a lot of fork-tongued people in Maryland, don't you think?
Could be. Yeah, and it's not a... Yeah, okay.
I'm a
Okay.
little surprised it's not Massachusetts, to be honest.
The one that wasn't surprising to me was Georgia.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Georgia
I
and
mean,
New...
listen, you spend a week driving in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
you will use up all
yeah,
you will use
that's
up
true.
all of your
That
swears.
is true.
All of
Yeah.
your swears for the year will be used in that 1 week.
They've been talking
Oh.
about Atlanta traffic for decades and
it's
how
so
bad
bad.
it is.
Oh,
Yes.
traffic
Listen,
does make you feel
not
a little
only-
sweary.
Not only is it a lot of traffic, so a lot of traffic jams, people are insane there. I mean, we're talking about going 120 miles an hour down the highway and then just woo, right across 4 lanes to the exit. I mean, people are insane in Atlanta. You cannot drive there without seeing an accident.
Okay,
You can't.
I wanted to bring this up because all the states have at least 1 or 2 sister states with their favorite swear words, except for Idaho,
That's
which is
so
crap, and Alaska.
And its name is kind of a swear.
Idaho?
Oh my God,
gosh,
Kevin.
It's so bad.
God bless
Sorry, that was-
America.
that was
You
a-
almost made me say one of them.
And the other one that doesn't have, okay, no
man,
one
I've
else
been
has,
hanging around Amy too much. Sorry.
no one else uses this word. It's Alaska. We can't say it on air, but what I will give you as a hint is that Alaska has more men than women.
A lot more.
Yeah, a lot more men than women. It says it's like 53% male.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which seems a little bit more even than I thought, but that's the word they use.
Still not great for that extra 4%.
Yeah.
Here is another good one. What day of the week is the day of the week where the most swears are used?
Monday.
I was going to say it can't be Monday because that's too obvious.
Oh,
It is not Monday.
Wednesday.
It is not Wednesday.
Sunday.
It is
That would actually be hilarious.
because you're getting ready for work.
No,
You got-
for church.
You're got
Oh,
church.
church. Oh,
That means they're doing it
No.
like half a day.
Yes.
I thought I was thinking it's because of Bears
Yeah, I
games.
say it's also football. So,
Yeah.
It's Bears
you know.
games.
yeah.
Yeah, like these idiots.
So it's not
Okay.
Sunday?
It is not. It is Tuesday.
Really?
Yes. And so the belief is that it could be due to midweek work blues because you're getting close to the middle of the week. Tuesday is one of the worst days, honestly. Monday sucks, but Tuesday is bad because you feel like you're in the middle of the week, but you're so far from Friday. That's what it is.
Okay.
So I think that's why. Also, there's an hour of the day where the most swears come out.
Whoa.
Midnight.
Close.
Wait,
Yes.
hour of the day. Oh, so it's close. Well, because
Yeah.
mine was going to be like evening.
1 a.m.
Mm.
1 a.m. is, for whatever reason, the time people are online cussing.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I just
Yes.
It's a
scrolled,
little too perfect.
I just scrolled down the top 10 swearing cities. Atlanta's number 1.
Yep.
So that's why
Yep.
Georgia's got that.
Atlanta and Baltimore. Baltimore is in the top. It's,
There you go.
I think number 6 or 7.
They also have the top sweariest names. Like if your name is this, you will be a swearer.
Yeah.
I love it. The first name is Kai.
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 Yeah.
Which
How
is-
many Kais are there?
I don't
I
know.
don't.
Maybe
I don't
that's
know, but they're
why.
prolific.
I've
And
actually
what's-
known a couple, to be honest. Now that I say that.
What's funny is my brother and I have this joke, the alternate persona of Jocks and Kai. And we're like 2 bros just hanging out. I'm Jocks and Kai. But Kai is funny because he's the sweariest name. The number 2 one is a big surprise. June. Like June
yeah.
Cleaver.
I don't know.
If your name is June.
Well, I don't know. I watch Handmaid's Tale,
Mhm.
and the main character, her name is June, and she swears a lot.
Yeah.
The top
I would swear a lot if I lived in that
Luis
world.
swears a lot too.
Luis swears a whole lot. The top 2 least sweariest name. Let's do the top 3 least sweariest names because they sound like friends are Kimberly, Jennifer, and Rachel. Oh my gosh, we don't say bad words.
And Steven doesnn't
Wait a
swear
minute,
either.
Amy's not on there, though.
I know. Mary's on there. That makes sense.
You know what? Steven doesn't swear, and that doesn't make sense because what do we decide we call him?
Who?
Our boss. What's his
Oh,
name?
the decider.
The decider.
The decider.
Yeah, the decider. He, you know.
Well, I mean, he's like
He's
you and me,
making
though. He's in
decisions.
our range.
I think he's worse than us.
You think? I don't think so. I think he's in our range.
Kimberly, the least sweariest name.
The least sweariest city is Minneapolis. I do not believe the second
don't
one. The second
believe
one
that.
they say is New York City.
No.
I'm calling
that can't be
BS.
right. All the churches in New
You
York.
know what? There are many different languages spoken in New York, and that's unfair if you're not counting all the different language swear words.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Thank
That's
you.
why.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Ranji.
And on all of that note, just a reminder of the recent studies that show that the people who swear the most have tested for the highest intelligence scores.
That's correct.
Is that just because everybody
that out.
swears?
No.
Yeah, probably.
It's like
No, it isn't.
me and Mitt
No.
Romney.
All right.
No.
Speaking
Yeah.
of swearing, Ranji was doing a bunch of it last night. We're going to talk about Ranji's dumbass delivery guy when we come back.
Oh.
Okay. Well, right now, I need you to go to getrefunds.com. At least if you're a business owner and you have 5 or more employees and you manage to survive the COVID years, go to getrefunds.com because you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. Now, this isn't a loan and there's no payback. It's a refund of your taxes. And I know when it comes to taxes and refunds and business dealings, it can be confusing, overwhelming. You want to make sure you do it the right way. The team at getrefunds.com can help you out. The team of tax attorneys that they have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program and have already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. And if you're wondering, well, does my business qualify? Well, it might, even if your business took PPP, even if your business is a nonprofit, or if you saw an increase in sales. To find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. Getrefunds.com.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
For 30 years, Banner Construction has offered the finest home exterior solutions featuring James Hardy and Pella Windows to give your home a beautiful new look. Visit bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. That's 569-1050. Banner Construction.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, October 19th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
Those career politicians all talk big. Yeah, like that Tracy McCreary. She's been in office nearly a decade, so I checked. Turns out McCreary failed to pass a single bill she authored in all that time. Not one. Yeah, I saw McCreary fail to even show up to vote 286 times, and now she wants a promotion? Well, sadly, McCreary's just another career politician who talks big but has a do-nothing-for-us record. I want a state senator with a record of getting good things done. Well, that's world-renowned surgeon and educator George Haruza. As a doctor, Haruza gets the importance to us of quality, transparent, and affordable health care. Haruza knows our medical decisions belong between us and our doctor. And Haruza's for giving us back safe neighborhoods and stronger schools. Right. George Haruza is the clear choice for state senate. Well, I like his proven record of getting good things done.
Paid for by Haruza from Missouri.
Hey, it's Matzo Matt again for Brewpub, lots of matzo pizza. The October winds of change are upon us. The temps are dropping, the leaves are turning, and many of us modify our meal choices to fit the season. Now, one thing that doesn't change is the quality and satisfaction that comes with downing a Brewpub lots of matzo pizza. Same first-class mozzarella cheese that's won awards for its quality and taste, along with plenty of toppings that are second to none. So fire up the oven, take the chill out of the air, and enjoy the best of both worlds. A Brewpub pizza and the warmth of your own home. Snag a Brewpub lots of matzo pizza today from your local grocery store.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
All right, 11:22 here on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Ron, you had a bad delivery experience last night.
Dude, let me tell you a thing about a thing. And before I get started here, let me just go ahead and stop you right there when you say that just go pick it up for yourself. What's the whole point of delivery service? You get it so you don't have to go pick it up.
Right,
That's the point.
Right, but this is why I don't do that.
Well, I was watching the baseball game, didn't want to leave.
Okay.
I wanted my food to come to me within 20 hot minutes.
You're a regular martyr over there.
So, I am a martyr. So I got the delivery service.
Nice.
And I like to get, whenever possible, the restaurant's own delivery service. I don't like to go to Grubhub or Uber Eats first. That's a backup plan. So I got this delivery, right? And I am, by the way, convinced that we are much, much better off in society without the delivery progress map. You know how when you place your order for food, you can watch where the driver is. Like on Uber or on Lyft or whatever, you can see where the car is before it gets to you.
Amazon delivery when it says
Amazon
stops
when it
away.
gets close. I am convinced it's actually worse for you because all you do is look at the map and go, where the hell are you going? Where are you going? You're right here. Let me tell you what this doofus did last night. So I ordered the food. I see him go pick it up, and he's pretty quick. He was pretty quick about getting there. He got there. He goes to my place, has to go around the block in order to be out front. It's the only way he can do it. So he goes around the block to be out front of my place. I see that he's out there, and I'm getting ready to go down to get it. And he's there for a couple of minutes, and I'm like, putting my shoes on and whatnot so I can go out and get it, and, my jacket. And then I see him drive away, and he goes back the opposite direction. I live in the Central West End. And you know how it'll tell you, like, okay, your food is 1 minute away. It's 8 minutes away, whatever. So instead of
I don't actually know that because I go get it.
Because you don't. You'll get it. Usually what happens is when they drop it off, they hit a little button. They say, food's been delivered. That didn't happen. So it goes from him being 1 minute away to deliver my food to being 3 minutes away.
Wait, that's the wrong way.
6 minutes away to 8 minutes away. And I'm like, where the hell is this guy? He got on the highway from the Central West End. He went to Tower Grove. What? He's in Tower Grove. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? So I go downstairs thinking, okay, maybe he dropped it off and just didn't hit delivered. And I go down there, it's not there. And so then I go back upstairs, and you have the phone number you can call, and I call straight to voicemail. So then you can also send a message. I sent a message and I said, the map said you were right out front of my place. Where are you now? And he said, I had another drop off. I'm like, you had another drop off? You were outside. You came to my house already. And so okay, here's what this person did. He came to my house after picking up the stuff, sat there, didn't come in, and went, oh, I got another drop off. Drove away, went to Tower Grove, and then came back to my house and dropped it off.
Oh.
Is this the stupidest delivery driver on earth? It's got to be. It has to be.
Is it because your order, say, was number 2 on the list and he was delivering number 1 on the list and didn't realize he was outside your apartment already?
How could you not?
But once you're there and you have the address on your app, how would you not just say, oh, well,
yes,
I'm here?
Because in order to get to he had to have known where he was going because he went down the street, made the right turn, and then the other right turn to get in front of my house.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he knew where he was.
Maybe
But he's just like, oh, I got this other delivery. I got to go take care of that first. Tell me that's not the stupidest thing you've ever heard.
It's pretty dumb.
I mean, isn't that stupid? You're right there. Anyway, so I sent him the message and I go, dude, you were right out front. I had another drop off. What do you mean?
Did you follow up?
He finally showed up like another 30 minutes later. And I was like, what the?
But did
what is
you
the matter
ask
with you?
him? Like, why didn't you bring the
No,
food
because
in?
as soon as well, then I had this thought. I kind of want to air him out a little bit with this message, but he's got my food.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point. You don't.
And then I'm like, you don't want to mess with people who are messing with your food
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know what they're going to do to it. And I wasn't convinced. I'm like, this guy's probably going to, do a thing in it, and then I can't eat it. Like I wasn't going to mess with it.
Somehow I feel like we're missing a critical piece of information.
There
here
isn't one.
That would
Yeah.
be an indictment on Ranj and his questionable character.
Oh no, I think that this is clearly a delivery problem.
Yeah, how could it be my fault?
I don't know, but I feel like there could be a way.
I think Amy might have sabotaged this.
You know what, Amy? You can't just have feelings. You need to have evidence.
Yeah, I would agree.
I want evidence
Evidence-based.
here.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Although we got a texter in the 314 that says, Ranj, I left your house because you're a poor tipper and Amy was more hungry.
That's not true.
Aw.
That's not true. I'm a great tipper.
You-
Although I have to admit, this is one of the very few times I do this. I took back some tip.
Oh no.
Hey,
yeah.
listen.
Sorry, man.
Wow.
All good
I
there.
didn't take it all away.
No.
I took back some. And
That's
I
fair.
never do that.
That is totally fair in
Oh,
that scenario.
my gosh.
Totally fair.
No.
Don't be an idiot.
All right, hey, coming up next, we're going to talk to Chris Krameyer. He is the president and CEO of Beyond Housing. What they're trying to do is get investors to help take a bite out of poverty in St. Louis. We'll explain when we get back on the show.
Dave Glover, never afraid to share an opinion.
I don't think that any group or person or candidate or party gets to claim we're the patriots or we love our country and you don't.
Ready to discuss issues.
We really need to have an honest conversation about that.
The Dave Glover Show. News, information, great talk, and so much more.
So if you're sick of listening to people fight about politics, if you just want to have a good time in the afternoon, give me a shot.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
At Archwell Health, the words convenience and care go together like coffee cake and coffee. Just ask Mary, who had a telehealth visit with her usual doctor the same day she woke up with an odd feeling in her chest. Or Robert, who was having issues with transportation and worked with us for rides to his physical therapy sessions. He even got a specialty care referral for other treatment needs last time he was here. We do everything we can to make wellness easy because you are more than a patient. Join today at archwellhealth.com/livewell.
KMOX with the St. Louis Odyssey stations will once again partner with you to raise funds for SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital through the Tree of Hope program. Thanks to you, we have raised more than $170,000 over the past 2 years. Cardinal Glennon has touched many lives over the years. If you have a story to share, we'd love to hear it. Sign up at KMOX.com/Cardinal Glennon or text HOPE to 20357. At 11:30, we have sunny skies and 46 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered martial law for 4 illegally annexed Ukrainian regions, doubling down on a faltering invasion he has described as very difficult. Britain's embattled Prime Minister Liz Truss has lost another top cabinet member. Her brand new interior minister has stepped down just days after Hunt reversed most of Truss's economic policies. The parents of a 15-year-old boy accused of killing 5 people in a North Carolina shooting rampage released a statement saying they are overcome with grief over the deaths. Alan and Elise Thompson issued the statement that acknowledged the pain caused by their son, Austin. They say they mourn for the 5 killed, including another son, James, who was among those killed. A new poll shows that many adults remain pessimistic about the state of U.S. democracy and the way elected officials are chosen. The Associated Press Norwick Center for Public Affairs Research survey found that just 9% of U.S. adults think democracy is working extremely or very well. There's a crash West Dunn Road at Santa Cruz Drive. The two right lanes are closed and could be closed for another hour. And a stalled vehicle being cleared out Allenton Six Flags Road at 44 eastbound. The right lane had been closed. That should be reopened by now. The KMOX forecast. Sunny this afternoon, seasonably cool, the high 53. Right now, it is sunny and 46 degrees. It feels like 40 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
United Way of Greater St. Louis is celebrating a century of helping people in our region with essential needs, early childhood and youth success, health and well-being, jobs and financial mobility, and community stability and crisis response. Find out how you can help our community at helpingpeople.org.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Ah, the sweet sounds of a quiet garage door. Never heard it? Schedule your garage door tune-up with Overhead Door of St. Louis. It's only $89.95 for the 26-point safety inspection and tune-up. That's one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Add nylon rollers for a smooth, more quiet operation. The Overhead Door brand is trusted by homeowners in St. Louis since 1926. Schedule your garage door tune-up online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arnado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win.
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City.
We are America's sports voice, KMOX.
It's 11:33 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. We spent a lot of time talking about ways that we can help make things better in St. Louis, big picture. And there are a lot of things that have to happen. We've talked about safety issues. We've talked about trying to solve issues related to poverty. And our next guest is working on just that. Chris Kremeyer is the president and CEO of Beyond Housing. And what they're doing is recruiting investors for essentially an IPO that will help with people that are dealing with poverty and help raise them up and make things better in the St. Louis area. And first of all, Chris, thank you for doing this. We appreciate it. And I know you're very busy, and I know that this is a detailed bit of work. There are a lot of things that go into it. Can you kind of give us a snapshot, our listeners, a snapshot of kind of what's going on at the moment and where you'd like it to go?
Sure. So for the past decade plus, Beyond Housing and many of our partners have been investing in part of St. Louis County that has a significant high degree of poverty and struggling schools and all the kind of things that as a region we've been trying to, see if we can get better for a long, long time. And quite frankly, we've been unsuccessful. So what we believe is that, look, as a region, we can only progress so far if we keep leaving so many people behind. So we've been doing a comprehensive community development plan in the boundaries of the Normandy Schools Collaborative here in the inner ring suburbs of St. Louis County, investing in what the community believes is most important to them, investing in housing, investing in education, health, jobs, and economic development. We've seen some great success over the last 10 plus years, but we have to get to scale. And the idea of scale means we have to keep investing in people and place so we can change the trajectory of what happens to the children that live here, to the families that live here, and to this broader community. And if we're able to do that, we're confident that the St. Louis region is going to get healthier, stronger, and then we can replicate this model all throughout the St. Louis region.
You were talking about addressing the needs of the communities and listening to the communities, what they need. There's also your 24-to-1 initiative. I believe you hosted over 450 community meetings. Can you explain how your organization learns from the communities and becomes embedded in the communities that it hopes to serve?
Sure. Look, we work for this community too often. Well-intentioned folks come to places that have some challenges and say, we know what's wrong, and we're going to tell you what needs to happen. We take the opposite approach. We take a very much approach that we work for this community. Our methodology is called Ask, Align, and Act. So again, we do a lot of conversations, whether it's town hall meetings, individual interviews, a whole series of ways where we're really ascertaining from folks who live here that they call this place home, what's important to them, what they see as a challenge, but most importantly, what are the solutions so they can live their best possible lives. Again, the moment we stop listening to the community is the moment we're going to lose trust, and we're going to, quite frankly, we're going to fail in our attempts to, again, move this part of the St. Louis region forward.
We know that for a lot of people, or in regions also, that one of the biggest problems when you have higher crime and you have a lot of things going on you'd like to get fixed. One of the bigger problems that leads to all of those things is a lack of affordable housing. How much of that, of the larger problem is because of that very thing, the difficulty in being able to find a place to live?
Well, I mean, certainly having a place to call home is kind of the basis and bedrock of how the rest of your life goes. So again, clearly, if folks aren't able to afford or find housing that works for them, that causes a significant challenge in their life. The way we come to it, though, is we really think that look, so much of people's lives is interrelated and interconnected. So people frequently ask us and say, well, what's the most important? Is it education, or isn't it jobs, or isn't it housing, or health, or economic development? And we say it's all of those, because the places where most of us live, we don't worry about any of those things being in place. We live there because those things do indeed exist. Where we work today, all those things are not there. The fabric of the place has been tattered over the years of disinvestment and a variety of other issues that have occurred. So for us, it's yes, you need a place to live, a place to call home, a place that you feel proud of. You need to feel safe in that home. You need to believe that the schools that you send your children to are effective and will position your children for lifelong success. You need to have access to the things that are important to you, whether it be a doctor's office, a grocery store, other economic development places like restaurants where you can sit down and eat. Again, all those things I think a lot of us take for granted don't happen in many parts of the region. So for us, it's about how do we tie all of this together? How do we knit the fabric of a place back together by investing in all those different spaces and places so we move everybody forward? So again, we're increasing the property values. We're increasing the tax base. There's more resources for schools. There's more resources for public safety. When we do all of this, people's lives will be better, neighborhoods will be better, and the St. Louis region is going to get stronger.
Chris, talk about the effort that you're undergoing right now to recruit people, investors, people with money, companies that are looking to get involved here, where it's more than just a donation. It's something that can be maybe more sustainable than that.
Sure, and you used the exact right phrase, investment, right? We don't want people to think this is charity. Now, is part of our $200 million capital raise philanthropy? Of course it is, because again, so much of this work does require philanthropy, but it also requires investment, right? So over the years, we've built, 300 plus single family homes. We've built 2 senior buildings. We've rehabbed over 1,000 existing homes. We've built a grocery store, a movie theater, a health facility, a food hall. So when we build, we borrow money from somebody. That's the way development works. So what we're asking, the St. Louis region is if you want to invest in changing the trajectory of our region, and you're willing to, again, look at the work that we and our partners do, if you lend us money to develop housing at a below market rate, you're going to get a return on your investment. You will have an ROI that'll be financial in nature. When you help us do our economic development projects, again, we're borrowing money from somebody. You lend to us at a below market rate, you're going to get a financial return on investment. But as important, there'll also be a return on investment in human lives. Kids are going to do better in school. Property values are going to go up. The recidivism rates to emergency rooms will go down because, again, our health workers are able to do good work to, again, help people live healthier lives. So, again, the idea of an IPO to a not-for-profit is a little different, and we understand that. And it's not like we're issuing stock, but what we're saying is invest in this place, invest in our organization and our partners, and the return will be both financial, it'll be in human lives, and the return will be the St. Louis region getting stronger and healthier.
And you mentioned the food hall. I believe that's part of your project in Pagedale, the North St. Louis
Correct.
County suburb, and how there's a Save-A-Lot grocery store there now. There's a bank, there are health care centers, there's a cinema. And you said that you were talking to the community and they said, hey, we don't have anywhere to eat, sit down, have a great meal. And so that was a big motivation behind the food hall, is listening to what the people in that neighborhood needed.
100%. So everything you just talked about, from a grocery store to movie theater to a health facility, and now the food hall, is based upon what this community said. Here is what we need to live our best possible lives. So the food hall has 3 restaurants, all minority entrepreneurs that are doing fantastic work. We're going to open up a pub in the food hall as well, I hope, in about 60 days. In that same space, there's a clothing boutique, a fitness center, a home health care agency, and a community kitchen, right? So again, it's investing in place, investing in the people that live here, and again, making a place where people choose to be. So often in our community, when things go well, people leave. And when they go well in their own lives, they wind up leaving. So again, what we're trying to do is create a sense of place while we're investing in that place and in the people that live there. Look, our community is it's not monolithically poor. There's a number of wonderful pockets like Pasadena Hills and Belnor and Greendale, right? But there are pockets of deep and long held poverty that if we don't address, the better neighborhoods are going to start crumbling too, and we can't have that happen for our footprint where we work, but for the St. Louis region as well.
Do you feel like there's enough appetite around the entire region to invest in these areas you're talking about? Because nothing's going to get done unless there is.
Sure. Look, I think there's a hunger for change. I think there's a hunger for something new. I think our idea of once and for all, can we get after these problems? And I think people want a real solution. So again, our position is we didn't think of this on Tuesday. We've been working at this for well over a decade. Our organization is 40 years old. So we've been at this for a long time. We've honed the delivery system. We've looked at national best practices. We've made our mistakes along the way. And now we believe we're poised and ready to get to scale. And what we need is the St. Louis region to, again, invest in themselves, invest in this community, invest in our organization for longitudinal success.
You said you guys have obviously been at this for a while now. And when you're looking at data, whether it's here or on a national scale, are you seeing any correlation that once communities are able to have more thriving businesses, they have grocery stores, that crime rates also start to go down?
Oh, absolutely, right. Again, when neighborhoods get better, when families' opportunities change, when people start living better lives, then everything gets better, including the sense of public safety. And crime does indeed go down. It's not non-existent as it isn't anywhere in the region or across the country, but it's clear if you change the equity of opportunity and people believe they have an opportunity for success, they're going to behave better. They're going to expect better from those around them. So we're absolutely confident as we continue this broad-based, comprehensive approach by building new housing, rehabbing housing, supporting the school system, creating economic development opportunities, that we're going to see a significant reduction in crime over time.
Obviously, you're looking for significant investments, monetary investments, and there are only a certain amount of people or companies that are capable of doing that. But what about the average person? Is there something the average person can do to contribute?
Look, just like your own investment portfolio, as long as you're investing, again, you can feel like you're part of something. So clearly, do we want corporations and high wealth individuals to come and talk to us and support us and invest in us? Of course we do. But if there's a regular citizens in the St. Louis region that says we love what you're doing, we believe in what you're doing, and I want to be a part of that, they need to contact us, and we'll find a way to get them plugged in, whether that's a charitable contribution, whether that's volunteerism, or whether they want to make a financial investment to see if they can get a return.
Yeah, so individuals can help out. And also, you mentioned corporations. Boeing recently, I think, has a $100,000 grant that went to Beyond Housing, correct?
Correct. Yeah. As we know, we've had great support from Boeing, from Emerson, from Cigna, Express Scripts, from Edward Jones, from so many of the St. Louis region's corporate leaders. We just need them to continue to support us, and hopefully in a bigger and more significant way. And then we need others who haven't supported us to jump in as well. Right. Again, it's not as if St. Louis isn't philanthropic. We're one of the most philanthropic regions in the country. The question becomes, where are we investing? And how are we doing that? So at the end of the day, we need institutions like Forest Park and the Art Museum and the zoo, but those investments can't be at the exclusion of what's happening in neighborhoods and what's happening to families. We're a big believer in the and both scenario as opposed to the either or. So let's keep investing in the things that make us a great region to date, but look, let's invest in places that have not gotten that type of support for decades and really turn our region into something special. Wouldn't it be great if St. Louis was known not only for our wonderful baseball team, for the exciting work at Cortex, but also known as that's the region that invested in their communities that were struggling and saw them turn around and saw, again, the economic engine of the state and the economic engine of the region get stronger and healthier.
So anybody that wants to get involved, Chris, so they just check out beyondhousing.org. Is that the best place to get started?
Beyondhousing.org. And then you can also go to onceandforall.org. Both places have all the information about the work we're doing, our approach, the philosophy behind it, the underpinnings of our work, and our success to date. Because to date, we've already invested almost $175 million in this community over the last 10 years. Right? We've shown some great progress, but we got to accelerate it. We have to get to scale.
Chris, great stuff. Thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to maybe reaching out and seeing how things are going again down the road. And obviously, if we can be of help, let us know.
I appreciate that. You guys take care.
You've got it. That's Chris Kremeyer, the president and CEO of Beyond Housing. You can find them, like I said, at beyondhousing.org. You can find Chris on Twitter, by the way, at his name, at Chris Kremeyer, and that's Krehmeyer. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk a bit about, a celebrity who has gone a little bit off the deep end here lately, and it's not the first time, but it's going to set up a broader conversation. We'll have that coming up in just a few here on the show.
I know during all of the COVID shutdowns, a lot of people put off doctor's appointment, dentist's appointment, eye doctors. And if you are still catching up, might I recommend the Ophthalmology Associates? You know them as the doctor's doctors. Call them today to make an appointment, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. I just recently saw Dr. Birdie. I got fitted with some new contacts. I'm staring at my computer screen all the time. I spend a lot of time outside running. So I had this itchy kind of red eye that they were bothering me. And you don't really know the reason for your dry eyes. It could be an allergic reaction to something. It could be the computer screens. It could be something more serious. For me, Dr. Birdie was able to figure it out. I switched contacts. My eyes are so much more comfortable now, and I can see, which is critical. Blurry vision is no fun. Maybe when you're driving at night, you're starting to see halos around the lights. That could be, maybe a sign of cataracts. It could be you do have fatigued or dry eyes. The doctors and Ophthalmology Associates, they can let you know. They are the experts. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
We are all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. After Halloween this year, don't throw out your jack-o'-lantern. Use it to start composting instead. Pumpkins and other gourds are perfect additions to any compost pile. Also, you can add container soil and roots from potted plants that have withered away. And if you have a garden, be sure to add garden waste from cleaning and pruning, like stems, roots, and leaves. Join Odyssey. And together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Hi, this is Kent Newbold at Newbold Toyota. Since we led the St. Louis Metro in Toyota sales in August, the factory gave us a whole bunch of cars. So come see us. Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-328-8000.
An important message from SNL Coins Gold and Silver buyers.
SNL Coins Gold and Silver Buyers pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, diamonds, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver. Get a quote with a call to SNL 544-3600, SNL Coins 544-3600, or visit SNL 9300 Gravois just east of McKenzie, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call SNL 544-3600.
Clement Auto Group is hosting another trunk or treat for the kiddos.
We're inviting all the listeners to bring their kids, the dogs, and trunk or treat with us on Saturday, October 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m.
Music, game, prizes, and most of all,
lots of candy for your kids.
Come out Saturday, October 22nd to Clement Pre-Owned in Florissant.
For all your communication needs, check out the Center for Hearing and Speech. Call today 314-968-4710 or chsstl.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Kevin, Amy, and Chris now.
Best friends together.
Dave Glover at 2 on KMOX.
All right, so coming up after the 12 o'clock news, we're going to have Helen Turner join us. She's the Director of Education for the Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum, and we're bringing her on to talk about, just a lot. I feel like a lot more in the news recently, things that fall into the anti-Semitic category. And not just Kanye West. Some of these right-wing groups that are becoming more and more popular tend to fall that way.
Donald Trump.
I shouldn't say more popular. I'm saying more and more prominent is probably the better way to put it. You're right. The former president's recent comments certainly raised a lot of eyebrows, and we're going to kind of touch on that after the top of the hour news with Helen. But I kind of wanted to set it up here because this is something that to me is just in 2022 is I shouldn't say surprising, but super frustrating that this is still a thing that exists, that guys like Kanye, who are famous, can go out there and just say ridiculous things. And then as a result of saying those ridiculous things, turn around and blame the rest of us for being mad at what he's saying when what he's saying is ludicrous.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. And Yair Rosenberg is one of my favorite writers. He's written for The Atlantic, or he writes for The Atlantic, and he looks at the continuing rise of anti-Semitism in our country over the past few years. But it's, as he mentioned, it's a self-sustaining cycle. This bigotry, this anti-Semitic bigotry is self-sustaining because it encompasses both personal prejudice against Jewish people, as well as a conspiracy theory about how the entire world works. He said this is a catch-22, because if you are a Jewish person and you're faced with prejudice, if you don't say anything, then it just continues to spread unchecked. If you do say something, they go, aha, that's because you control the world. It is this self-sustaining cycle of both personal prejudice and a conspiracy theory.
The stuff that he's saying, and I want to say this other thing first, and that is we tend to just call Kanye a crazy person, and we have done that for a long time. There is an element of him that's just nuts.
Yeah,
but
he has some mental,
but I'm not giving him a pass
issues
on that
Not
because
at all.
I think he's just a jerk. I think Kanye is just an idiot. And here's the problem: he is a brilliant musician. He is really good, but he is a big dummy when it comes to everything else. I honestly think he's kind of stupid when it comes to everything else, and he's very taken by conspiracy stuff. And people who are consumed by conspiracy ideas and theories a lot of times aren't that bright, and I think that's kind of what's going on with him. And all of these things that he is saying now, there's the George Floyd thing where he said George Floyd died from fentanyl poisoning. Oh, well, guess what? Now you're being sued for $250 million by Floyd's family because he did not die from fentanyl poisoning, and they're probably going to have a case. They may not see any of this money.
I don't know that they're going to be able to prove damage, but they still have a point that, look, the medical examiner ruled on this.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not
defamation.
that.
It's absolutely defamation. So I don't know where that goes from here, but I hope they get every penny of it because screw this guy. The anti-Semitic stuff that he's saying now, and just recently we talked to the filmmaker or one of the filmmakers of the U.S. and the Holocaust, which is on PBS. If anybody watched that, you'll find a lot of similarities between the nonsense Kanye says and what people said in the mid-30s in Germany and actually around the world. It wasn't just
here too, yeah.
Here too. We said the exact same stuff about Jewish people. This is nonsense that's been going on for so long, and people like this need to be checked.
It is amazing that something that was prevalent pre-World War II, something that was prevalent. I mean, I know this whole conspiracy theory about the New World Order and all that has been around for hundreds of years. I mean, a lot of governments have used that to prop themselves up, to make themselves look like they're not the problem, when obviously they most likely are. But this is also like here in the United States has been going, and this is 90 years later, and still the same nonsense is being put out there.
It's unbelievable.
We'll talk a bit more about it. Next up, Helen Turner from the Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum is going to join us after the news here on the show.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter in Israel became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America. Then, after a few years, these wholesalers changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. DiamondsDirect.com.
Procrastination. We've all been there. But have you been dragging your feet when it comes to creating your retirement plan? I've heard it all from, I have time before I need to make a decision, or I'll eliminate debt first and then get ready for retirement. I've seen far too many people waste valuable time for their retirement planning, and I don't want you to be one of them. Hi, I'm Ken Heisey with Heisey Advisory Group. I'm on a mission to help people recognize the potential destructive impact procrastination can have on their retirement plan. Don't procrastinate. Call us today at 314-328-4400 to ensure you get on the right path toward your retirement dream. That's 314-328-4400, 314-328-4400.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 o'clock, we have sunny skies, 46 degrees. It feels like 40 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Like hundreds of other parents, Ashley Bernal, president of the Jana Elementary PTA, had to break the news to her son that his school is closing because of the presence of high levels of radioactive contamination found at the school and on the grounds.
You know, I think every parent can absolutely imagine what that's like to tell your child that their school classmates will not see each other, and it's no fault of their own.
The Hazelwood School Board announced last night students will go to virtual learning starting Monday and then be sent to other schools after Thanksgiving in the district. Bernaw tells KMOX's Total Information AM families have proposed alternatives to reassigning the students. The Archbishop of St. Louis calling on voters to reject legalizing recreational marijuana in Missouri.
This is Kevin Killeen. In an interview with KMOX, Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky says if the recreational marijuana plan passes in Missouri, the drug will become more prevalent across society, even for minors. It will be more available, and he says it will lead to problems with their moral development, school development, and could get them into harder drugs that could prove fatal. The Archbishop says to those who say this is a good way to raise tax revenue, he says the church has a 2,000-year tradition of opposing what the world thinks is a good idea, and he's calling on Catholics to turn out and vote on the issue.
It's an indication of the intense interest in this year's midterm elections. CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula has more.
There's been record turnout the first 2 days of early in-person voting in Georgia. Dan Rousey is a poll manager in DeKalb County outside Atlanta.
I expected it to be busy, maybe not quite this busy, but that's good.
This man let his voice be heard.
I just wanted to get my votes in. I mean, this is a pretty crucial election, and the sooner I make my voice heard, the better.
Georgia has crucial and closely watched U.S. Senate and gubernatorial races. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
YWCA of Metro St. Louis holding a candlelight vigil tonight to honor victims and survivors of domestic violence. It'll take place from 6 to 8 at the YWCA headquarters on Olivet Executive Parkway. Congresswoman Cori Bush, a survivor of domestic and sexual violence, will be a guest speaker. A ribbon cutting this morning took place for a first-of-its-kind campus Doorways, opening the first phase of its $40 million campus for those battling homelessness, poverty, HIV, and unstable housing.
The 50 units of housing that are opening in phase one, people will live there at least for a year or more. And while they're there, they will also receive services.
Doorway CEO Opal Jones tells KMOX the services include behavioral health, employment services, self-sufficiency training, and more. Doorway's headquarters will also be on the campus on North Jefferson in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood. The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk housing starts fell more than expected in September. KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz.
Part of that is due to just the tightening of the economy and to some extent the pressures from inflation.
Housing starts slid more than 8% last month. The Dow from Stifel down 176 points at 30,347. There's a crash West Dunn Road at Santa Cruz. The two right lanes remain closed. A stalled vehicle out on Six Flags Road at 44 eastbound. The right lane is closed. Actually, that has reopened as we speak, according to MoDOT. And taking a look at the KMOX forecast.
The October chill stays with us as we go through this Wednesday afternoon. Lots of sunshine. It's chilly, but the winds have knocked down a little bit. 52 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, 40s for evening plans. 33 for the overnight low. Thursday, sunshine, 68. Then here comes the next warm-up. Friday, sunny, 75. A spectacular weekend. Saturday and Sunday, sunshine, 78. May actually feel a little bit on the warm side. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Another quick traffic note. A stall, 64 westbound past Spirit of St. Louis Boulevard. That is on the right shoulder. Right now, we have sunny skies. It's 46 degrees. It feels more like 40 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
All right, coming up on 12:05 on the show, Chris Ranji, Amy Marks, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Helen Turner is our guest. She's the Director of Education for the Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum. Helen, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you, and obviously looking forward to tapping into your expertise here. I guess as a topic starter, a lot in the news lately, a lot of things that are either borderline or just flat out anti-Semitic in the news. A lot of storylines, some related to politics, some in entertainment. And how do you just frame what we're hearing now? Is it unusual with the frequency right at this point? Is it kind of the norm? How would you kind of frame what's happening here in the last, say, month or so?
Certainly, fantastic question. I mean, I think, first of all, we've seen a rising trend in anti-Semitism over the past several years. So all I can say is that I think what we're seeing now is simply a greater symptom, a very public symptom of what's happening with anti-Semitism, not only in the United States, but around the world.
And I was talking earlier about Yair Rosenberg, who's one of my favorite writers for The Atlantic, and he said that this anti-Semitic language that we're seeing is twofold. One, it's personal prejudice against Jewish people. And two, it's an entire conspiracy theory about how the world works. So if a Jewish person calls out anti-Semitism, they are often hit back with well, that's because you're running the world. Like quite literally, crazy conspiracy theories. How are you able to combat that and have conversations with people who have this cyclical, bigoted cycle?
Certainly, and that's another great question. And truly, when people make references to running the world or this kind of plot or plan, they're really pulling off of very, very old anti-Semitic tropes. And so for me, it's a lot about saying, where does that idea come from? And really looking at the history of anti-Semitism, which sadly is very long and very broad, and tends to bob and weave with the economic, political, or social moment. And so I'd really look to that and then pull it apart and talk about, why it's such a dangerous conspiracy theory. And it is just that. It is a conspiracy theory, and that it is rooted in anti-Semitism. And I think being very clear on the history of anti-Semitism, where these things come from, is really the key to taking apart anti-Semitism.
For a long time, and not being a Jewish person, I don't deal with the day-to-day of what it's like and what facing anti-Semitism feels like, or how frequent it actually is. I guess I get to be ignorant of it to an extent. I know it happens, but I don't have the day-to-day. But for people who do, is this a thing where, because for me, it seems like it went away for at least a little bit, or to an extent it went away, but it's come back hard in the last several years. Do we have an understanding why it's happening now worse than it seemed to have been maybe 10 years ago or so?
I mean, I think there's probably a lot of factors. I think, what I would really think to is looking at, number one, I'm not sure that it ever really went away. I would probably go with more of an idea that it went underground. It became less socially acceptable, predominantly in the wake of the Holocaust, and more education about anti-Semitism and things like that. So I think it probably went underground. But I think the reason we're seeing such a spike now is, number one, we're seeing extremism and polarization happening all over the country and all over the world. But also, I think the internet has really played a key role, that people can find themselves in a chat room or in a group where they really become a vacuum unto themselves. And thus much more extremist thought, much more violent rhetoric is much more easily accessible to folks. But just from speaking to people in the community, I think anti-Semitism to some degree has always been there. We're just seeing it erupt in different ways at the moment.
Helen, a while back, maybe I think it was last month, we had Lynn Novick on. She was one of the producers of the Ken Burns documentary, The U.S. and the Holocaust. And with her, we were talking about how, to me anyway, it's striking that a lot of the language we're hearing now is very similar to pre-World War II, some of the run-up. And I'm talking about here in the U.S., not necessarily in Germany, although some of that was similar as well. Back then, it was more prominent people. I mean, we're talking people in Congress, heads of industry, Henry Ford, for example, being mentioned as a part of that. Now it's not people like that, but it is some celebrities, and it is the people in some of the more right-wing militia groups that are going that route. Do you notice I don't want to say a repeat, but at least a similarity between the types of things that are being said?
That's an interesting question. And what I would say is how we approach Holocaust education, and that we never want to compare directly. We know that we are not sitting in 1933, but that we do want to make connections. And I always say to my students, to my fellow museum educators and teachers, the Holocaust did not begin with gas chambers and genocide. It began with words. And we have to be very careful and pay attention to the language that's being used and to who is saying it. And to make sure that we hold, especially those with large microphones and those in positions of power, accountable for the language that they use. So I do see, maybe not a comparison, but certainly connections.
Okay.
And when you talk about words and recognizing anti-Semitism, do you find that some people conflate perhaps actions taken by the Israeli government with American Jewish people, so that if something happens in Israel, you have the local chapters of a university be vandalized, and find that anti-Semitism sneaks in under the guise of, well, I'm just criticizing the government?
Yeah, certainly. I think, there's a difference, obviously, between anti-Semitism, anti-Zionism, and then critiquing the state of Israel. But I think that sometimes it is used as code language for anti-Semitism, and we need to be very aware and vigilant against that.
So holding people accountable, that is one of the tools that we have. But what does that actually look like? What does it look like when we hold people in positions of power accountable for saying ridiculous things?
That's a great question. I think something difficult to wrestle with, really. For me, in my position, my main goal is to make sure that we call out, anti-Semitism, but also any bigoted language loudly and clearly, and call it for what it is. So I think that's the calling out, certainly on my platform. But the second is also to call folks into conversation, and to make sure that, if they say something that is anti-Semitic, is bigoted, is very prejudiced, that number one, they understand what that means and the damage that they have caused, but then they are invited into a conversation on education, and to learn how to better use their platform, or to change their language, and ultimately to change their minds, and to make sure that we move forward together. But from my platform, the calling out is really making sure that we clearly distinguish what is anti-Semitic language.
Helen Turner is with us, the Director of Education for the Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum, which, by the way, opens in 2 weeks. Is that right? 2 weeks?
14 days, but no one's
14 days.
counting.
So I'm education is always a part of this. I mean, it's obviously your purview there as part of being the Director of Education. Education is a part of any type of facility like this, a museum like this. Is there also are there also materials on the website? Are there other materials we can steer people toward that would help maybe just a better understanding of why these things exist or how long they've existed?
Yes, please. I mean, we have our brand new website, which is a fantastic resource. We've got things like timelines, different definitions of words and language, and then, of course, our oral history project, which is a collection of testimonies from St. Louis survivors, which is an incredibly powerful and wonderful teaching tool.
There's one of the survivors, and I had watched it a couple of weeks ago, so some of the facts of it I'm forgetting. But we mentioned the U.S. and the Holocaust. There is somebody who's prominent in that documentary from St. Louis. He ended up here. He was in Europe, and he found his way here as a child. Is he a part of any of these things?
Unfortunately, he's not associated with our museum.
Okay.
But he's a wonderful gentleman, and believe me, after watching the documentary, I'm going to reach out.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about this earlier, but if people are thinking like, oh my goodness, I want to bring my family to this museum so I can further educate them, or classrooms with kids, obviously there are some some of the most horrific crimes we've seen take place in the Holocaust. Is it the museum appropriate for kids of all ages, just knowing maybe certain areas might have, a display warning? I bring this up because when I went to the Holocaust Museum in DC, some of the more graphic images, which are important to see and to learn about, were up higher. So if you were very short, like a toddler, you couldn't see into that display yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely kept age in mind. Our ideal age to begin this kind of exploration would be 10 years old and up.
Okay.
But if, let's say, somebody, you're a family and you've got a very interested 12-year-old, and then you've got a 3-year-old with you, our most graphic images are hidden in drawers. In drawers, so that and with a graphic warning, so that if you were there with your family and it's age appropriate for one child but not the other, we are accessible to you.
Helen, thank you so much for the time. And I don't think you guys are going to need luck, but I'll say good luck with the opening in 2 weeks. STLHolocaustMuseum.org is the website for anybody that wants information, to look at tickets, to plan the visit there. All kinds of great information available there. But I will say again, I wish you luck, because opening anything can be challenging. We just want everything to go smoothly for you guys.
Thanks. I so appreciate that. We are so excited. And we cannot wait to welcome our visitors. Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. Thank you, Helen. That's Helen Turner, the Director of Education for the Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum. And again, the website is stlholocaustmuseum.org.
The gentleman I was talking about is Gunther Stern, who
What a story.
Dude, it's such a great story. He's 100 now.
I know.
Like, and that's one of the things too that I think we should take advantage of learning from these people, because it was so long ago, and we're talking about, 90 years ago that all of this really started, almost 90 years ago that a lot of this began. And to be able to hear stories and get the words from people who were involved directly, I think is really, really important, because they're not going to be around for that much longer.
Anybody that was involved at all in World War II.
Yes, we have very few of those veterans still around too.
Yeah.
And you say a long time ago, and by a lifespan, yes, but in the grand scheme of history, it's crazy how recent it was that such a horrific thing took place. And one of my running buddies, we were talking, and I forgot what it was, just somehow families came up, and he said, yeah, well, we only know this because I lost my entire extended family in the Holocaust. And that's just a young guy running around Forest Park who is speaking that is that familiar with it, because that was his family.
It's stunning. And again, I can't recommend the documentary enough, The U.S. and the Holocaust by Ken Burns. It's not fun, it's not entertaining, but it's super informative, and it's an important thing to understand. It's just important so you don't repeat the same mistakes. Even if they don't go as far, you can still repeat significant mistakes. And I think it's important to try to avoid that.
What's difficult to accept when you watch it and you hear some of the language, you go, oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Which is really, really alarming.
Yeah.
Stuff like words from Charles Lindbergh. That's an America First. Very disturbing.
Yeah. So again, highly recommend that. And obviously, stlholocaustmuseum.org if you want to plan your own visit. All right, coming up next, obviously a change in gears. Adults being kids, essentially, is what we're talking about next on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
I cannot tell you how important it is for you to go get your regular annual eye checkup. And I cannot tell you how important it is to make that stop with Ophthalmology Associates. I'm not a person that has done this. First of all, I just didn't think I needed to. I've never worn glasses. I have never worn contacts. I've never had vision problems. And after visiting with Dr. Ranjan Malhotra at Ophthalmology Associates, I realized, I probably should have been doing this annually like you do every other medical thing, just to make sure that you can cut off any problems at the pass. Thankfully, I don't have any of those kind of problems that I'm building or working through, or that I have to be aware of down the road. And I only learned that, though, by going to Ophthalmology Associates and getting that great in-depth exam from Dr. Ranjan Malhotra. Now, he's joined by Dr. Greg Birdie, Dr. Robert Brusati, Dr. Andy Royer. They are the doctors' doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors in St. Louis, in the St. Louis area. That's more than any other practice. You know, when the other professionals are coming to you, you're doing it right. They are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. And again, that includes seeing things, maybe signs of something that might not be a problem now, but could be a problem down the road. So sure, you can take care of the simpler things, getting your new prescription, dry eyes, allergy eyes, all of that. But man, checking up on your long-term health is an important thing in every way. And it is true when it comes to your eyes as well. Visit youridoc.com to find out more. You can call 314-966-5000 to set up an appointment. They're just a half mile west of 270 on Manchester. Very easy to get to from anywhere in town. 314-966-5000. The doctors at youridoc.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed. I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes, cowboy boots, running shoes, walking shoes, flat shoes, heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Dearborn.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
I want to get into a topic here that I'm very familiar with, and that is grown people acting like children. Basically me.
Are you acting
And
like a
hey,
child, or are you a child?
I think I am a child. I proved that 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, right here in the studio. There was a balloon.
And
I'm
you
like,
popped
you
it.
know what I'm going to do?
So
I'm going to pop it to see if I can surprise anybody.
it was Big Boss Becky's birthday yesterday.
Yep.
And there were balloons all over the office,
Yeah.
just everywhere. And
Fun
so
to pop.
I brought one into the studio because it was out in the newsroom.
Mhm.
And as soon as I brought it in, I thought to myself, Kevin's going to pop this balloon.
Yeah.
And he did.
You baited me.
I didn't do it on
And I
purpose.
took
I just knew what you were going to
And
do.
I just quickly, side note before we move on, I just checked with the newsroom, and apparently they like Chris Ranji.
Told you.
I said that. I agree.
I
I
told
know
you.
you did. I did not believe it.
All right.
They say I'm
So
a welcome distraction.
that's what they said.
And I've heard that more than once.
Yeah.
So
It's a good
And
one.
yeah, so it looks like I'm the only one on this
Well,
island.
yeah.
Yep.
All right, Grouch. Is there a Happy Meal toy that's a Grouch? Is there any one of the people in the Ronald McDonald universe
No, that's a
that's
Sesame
grouchy?
Street Oscar the
Okay,
Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch.
I guess
yeah,
the
for
one
sure.
thing that you could be like the Hamburglar, right? The annoying one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rubble, rubble, rubble.
Amy's she's the Hamburglar. She's the fun burglar. That's what you are. You come in and burgle the fun. That's what you do.
Who doesn't love to burgle?
You're a big fun burglar. So
that should be a Happy Meal toy.
guys, I just found out
Fun burglar.
recently
Yep.
they sell adult Happy Meals.
They
Well,
do.
Yeah, it's not like it's been a hidden secret that they've been doing this forever. This is a limited time thing that they did.
It was a secret to me. I had no idea, and apparently they go for as much as $12.95. You do get
Wait,
a toy.
what?
Yeah, $12.95.
$13,
I guess. You get the typical. You get the thing. You get a Big
Your
Mac
meal, right? Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You get
Big
the
Mac combo with
you
fries.
get the combo with fries
and a drink.
$12.95, and then
Is
you
it
get a
at
toy.
least a large for that amount?
I would hope so, but I don't know.
Hmm.
And you get a toy. Well, apparently people really, really want these toys, and they are selling for thousands of dollars on eBay. There have already been multiple sales of some of the toys, some of the paraphernalia that goes along with it for thousands. There is a listing for one of the toys now on eBay for $300,000. $300,000. Who is going to pay for that? And I think, Amy, you made a pretty good point during the break. I said, who would possibly pay for this? And Amy said,
I said no one except maybe the guys that bought NFTs.
yep.
Oh,
That's
don't
it.
have an idea for
Or the
how
people that
value
bought
works.
Beanie Babies. Like,
Oh,
these
yeah.
things are going to
Oh.
be my retirement.
Of course.
With the tags. Keep the tags
Keep
on.
the tags on.
Keep the tags on.
Yes.
Don't take the toys out of the plastic wrap.
And apparently people are pretty upset that they weren't able to get their adult Happy Meals. So McDonald's social media is already fielding complaints. And you can see the McDonald's account over and over again saying, one girl who wrote in, her name was Brooklyn, or maybe a guy, I don't know.
Okay.
Brooklyn, they were only here while they lasted. Or they were only here while supplies lasted. Over and over again.
So it's like what Taco Bell originally did with the Mexican pizza, but now it's back permanently. So maybe they'll do it permanently if it's popular enough.
Or like Twinkies.
What?
Twinkies went away for
They
a
got
minute.
canceled?
They did?
They got canceled. Yeah. And then,
Oh, I don't really like Twinkies.
yeah, a few years ago, Hostess said they were getting rid of Twinkies. And maybe the whole, if I remember right, it might have been the entire line of stuff like cupcakes and all those things. I don't know. And people raised the stink and they came back.
Oh, I wonder, aren't Twinkies like the great survival food? Like they never go bad?
Yeah. Like they never
Like if
decompose.
right. Like if we had an apocalypse, they would they'd be
Right.
there still and you'd find Twinkies.
Yep. That's what they say.
All right. Hey, by the way, Ranch.
Yeah.
The Hamburglar is one of the toys in the adult Happy Meal.
That's right. It's Grimace, the Hamburglar, Birdie. Oh, I had never heard of Birdie.
Is Birdie like Big Bird?
No, it's
Like
like a little,
Birdie.
it's a little ladybird.
Oh, the Lady
Oh,
Bird.
yeah. Oh, I know.
And-
I
Birdie.
remember Grimace.
Yeah.
I had a Grimace glass from when I was like 5 that my grandma kept. And then when I was like 40 years old, she gave it to. She's like, "You can have this back now." She had it for all that time.
I would say Grimace. Really, I know there's Ronald.
What is
Ronald
Grimace
McDonald,
again?
The big purple thing.
Yeah, but what
He's
is
a
he?
taste bud.
What
is that? What it is?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
thought he was just a Grimace.
I know. I thought he was a purple monster, but he's a taste bud. And Birdie was cute. I liked Birdie.
And there's one other character that I had. First time I've ever seen this. Never heard of it. Cactus Buddy.
Huh?
I think
I don't know. I didn't know what Cactus Buddy is, but it's one of the McDonald's characters.
I don't think it was though, because there's a streetwear company called Cactus Plant Flea Market. So I think Cactus Buddy might be a
Oh, it's a
special guy.
collaboration.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. You're right. It is a
People-
collaboration with Cactus Plant
People
Flea Market.
love nostalgia. They're just thinking back.
I don't love-
man,
I don't love
remember
a
when I was-
Hamburglar for $300,000.
No, thank you. All right, we got our show recap. We'll come back with some of the top stories of the day next up here on KMOX.
Dave Glover, never afraid to share an opinion.
I don't think that any group or person or candidate or party gets to claim we're the patriots or we love our country and you don't.
Ready to discuss issues.
We really need to have an honest conversation about that.
The Dave Glover Show. News, information, great talk, and so much more.
So if you're sick of listening to people fight about politics, if you just want to have a good time in the afternoon, give me a shot.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available, and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, October 19th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
With October being Learning Disabilities Month, I asked Lynn what it's like to be a parent who has a son who goes to Miriam.
Being a parent of a child that learns differently can be extremely stressful. But at the Miriam School, you don't have to worry about those things. The teachers are such experts. There are so many resources to ensure that your child is successful.
Every child deserves to feel like they have an individualized program for them to be successful. Get info for your kiddo at miriamstl.org.
At 12:30, we have sunny skies downtown at the Arch. It is 48 degrees. It feels like 43. I'm Carol Daniel. President Biden expected to announce this afternoon that he's authorizing the release of another 15 million barrels of oil, the last of the 180 million barrels Mr. Biden authorized for release last March when gas prices started to soar because of the war in Ukraine. The national average today for a gallon of gas is $3.85. That is down from last week, but up from a year ago.
We're heartbroken for our students who have classmates that they have been, with, since some of them have been in diaper days and daycare.
That's Ashley Burnaugh, president of the Jana Elementary PTA, reacting to a decision announced last night by the Hazelwood School Board to send students to other schools in the district. She tells KMOX's Total Information AM families have proposed alternatives to reassigning the school's students. Tests discover high levels of radioactive contamination throughout the school and its grounds. Spirit Airlines shareholders approving a $3.8 billion sale of the company to JetBlue. Spirit announcing the results today. JetBlue was able to drive out rival bidder Frontier Airlines after a bidding war this year. Watch for a stalled vehicle 70 eastbound past 5th Street. It is on the right shoulder, and a crash Dunn Road to Santa Cruz Drive should be cleared up by now. Might be some residual backups in that location. The KMOX forecast for this afternoon, it will be cool and sunny. The high 53, partly cloudy and cold tonight. The low 30 to 35. A partly sunny, warmer day tomorrow. The high of 71, and we could hit 80 by Friday. Right now, we have sunny skies. It's 48 degrees. It feels like 43 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News. Learn about the history and lessons of the Holocaust at the newly renovated St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum, reopening November 2nd. Membership and tickets for individual and group tours at stlholocaustmuseum.org.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946-9999. If you notice that interest rates are rising and prices aren't quite the same as they used to be, give us a call because we are cash buyers, and so we're not affected by interest rates. Where maybe the market was super hot previously and now things have calmed down a little bit and you're not getting the prices that you want, give us a call if you have a house to sell because we are cash buyers. 314-946-9999, ClaymanGroup.com.
Sunday, it's the Chiefs and 49ers, and you can hear the game here. Pre-game coverage at 2, kickoff 3:25. Kansas City, San Francisco, this Sunday. Touchdown, Kansas City! On your home for Chiefs football, KMOX.
All right, 12:33. Normally the Redbird Report, and we'll get back to that when things start to pick up or if there's news. We're going to have Derek Gould's going to join us in the studio tomorrow.
It's called the Cardinal segment now, Kevin.
No, not yet, but it will be.
It will be.
It will be.
Wait, why is it not called that yet?
Well, we just haven't had a chance to rebrand it
We
yet, but
just
we
take
will.
too long to do things.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
just did.
No,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
do
calling
that. And then from now on, henceforth, 1:30 will be the fun segment.
The fun segment. Because the
So
rest
at
of the
1:30, it's
show,
going to be fun
not
every
fun.
time, no matter what. Well, I mean, I guess some breaking news could push that out, but
Okay, with
let's
an
hope
attitude
not.
like that, Kevin,
Let's hope not.
you got to be positive. The 1:30 segment is
The fun segment.
segment.
Okay.
Where we only have fun.
That's what I would like to happen.
Unless there's breaking news.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, Amy.
So we opened the show with, I don't even know if it's positive, but with an update on Jana Elementary. It is now closed. So they're going virtual learning now for a period of time up until about Thanksgiving. First semester is going to wrap up. And after that, it sounds like they're going to put everybody into new buildings for the rest of the school year, which is a good thing. I don't think anybody wants to go back to long-term remote learning. That was pretty rough on the kids. But it's still going to be rough on them, but not as rough as obviously putting yourself in danger.
Yeah,
And
exposure to radioactive material is not good, decidedly.
it is interesting how this was. I mean, when we talked to Karen and Dawn yesterday from Just Moms STL, it's like been a long process, right? It's been back and forth messages with the Corps of Engineers. You had to bring in the new testing and a lot of this stuff, and got dragged out. Now all of a sudden things are happening fast.
Yep.
Probably not a coincidence that it was getting attention. That both Corey Bush and Josh Hawley sent messages out like, "Hey, let's go." We got to do something.
I
Like
mean-
if people got word out and something happened.
I don't even mean this as a joke, but you know it's bad when Josh Hawley and Corey Bush are aligned on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
And maybe one of the reasons
Yeah.
they are giving it attention is because the media has given it attention.
Oh,
and that's
without a doubt.
That's the power of it, and the reason it is valuable.
Without a doubt.
It's so sad to me. It's mind blowing that the entire area, Coldwater Creek, the Westlake landfill fire that is inching its way toward radioactive land, as well as the radioactive material that's at Jana Elementary. This should be front and center until the entire issue is resolved. I know there's plans to clean up the contaminated sections of Coldwater Creek, but that's not slated to be done until 2038. In the meantime, people are living there and getting sick.
Yep.
And again, I've said this already, but family, friends have gotten sick and have died because they grew up playing in that creek and in that
Yep.
area.
And speaking of schools, we also talked about teaching, and the state of Missouri has about 1,500, more than 1,500 actually, elementary
just
jobs they
full-time
need to
teacher
fill.
positions.
Yes,
Yeah.
teachers, and around 800 special ed jobs they need to fill as well. And the recommendation is, number one, to raise the minimum salary to from $25,000 to $38,000. We got a message on Facebook because we are streaming live on Facebook. You can watch our dumb faces, except for Kevin, who's got his camera off.
It's off again. I turn it off when I eat.
You can, which is the
People don't need to
whole
see
show.
that. Yeah. Well, it's every break.
You can watch us. You can listen to us on the Odyssey app, and of course, 98.7 FM, 1120 AM. Phyllis had sent us a message and said, I am not a teacher, but their day does not end at 3 or 4 p.m. They have lessons to plan, papers to grade. Most importantly, they have a big influence on teaching our kids life skills, how to treat each other, and how to solve problems. They shape our kids for the majority every weekday.
Yeah, that's a great call. I mean, I mentioned at the beginning, my little sister is a teacher. Two of my college friends are teachers. I have another 2 cousins on my wife's side that are both teachers. Like, I know a lot of people that are in education. Most of them are high school age. A couple of them, like my sister is in grade school, like she teaches the young ones. That could not be a more accurate statement. Like, there is so much more that goes into it. And yeah, you know what? You get your summers off. And I know that changes a little bit. You got some things you still have to do, but you're paying for it during the school year. It's not a simple 8-hour job and go home.
There's just a lot of context, like there is with any other job, that there are going to be benefits and there are going to be drawbacks. And depending on the class you teach, how many students are in your class, it can depend on if you're an English teacher grading a bunch of papers, or maybe a different subject that doesn't require as much homework. I mean, and even within each school district and within each school and the teachers, there are going to be different workloads, different expectations. So many teachers obviously go into the profession because they're passionate about it. I think there are teachers who have taught maybe at a class in a certain school and been very unhappy with the pay and the environment, have gone to a different school and been happier with the pay and the environment. There's so much to take in here. We looked at the minimum salary in Missouri because Missouri is second to last in what it pays its teachers. Only Montana pays its public school teachers less. And Governor Parson, there was a bill that he signed or was was signing to raise the starting salary, I believe, for public school teachers in Missouri to $38,000. Right now, there are some teachers starting in the upper 20s. 25.
That's terrible.
Yeah, according to the NEA, the average starting salary for public school teacher is $33,000. And again, only Montana ranks lower.
Think about that, though. That's like you're coming pretty much straight out of school, right? You've most likely built up at least some student loan debt.
Sure.
Because it's not just 4 years. You've got to go beyond that. And you're going to be asked to come in and take that. And in many of those cases, probably end up not having all of the supplies you need. So that's when you see people going on social media and saying, hey, can you help? My class needs this. And we need, and our district can't fund it. And I don't have the money. And you shouldn't have to pay for it yourself as a teacher.
And pay absolutely goes a long way in helping to attract teachers. Although we also know it's not the only thing, because private school teachers are paid on average significantly less. The Atlantic, the way they put it, said it's not a gap, it's a chasm. We're talking like $15,000 on average. Private school teachers get paid less than public school teachers. But again, it's looking at the environment, the support, the class size, the autonomy you have, whatever it may be. There is a lot that goes into making you happy with your job. A big part of it is pay, but not all of it.
You think if they want to attract and keep more, do you think that they should start charging teachers that quit for their training?
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
What
Like
I think they already,
yesterday.
yeah, ridiculous. They already paid for that when they went to college.
No, that's a really
But
good point.
I have always said this, anybody who has a negative opinion of teachers and they shouldn't make that much, they get all this time off in the middle of the year. Dude, even if it were true, they got 3 solid months off with never having to check in, never having to get ready for the following year, never having to do anything related to schoolwork. They deserve every bit of that. And it's not to say all teachers are great, because some suck, but the majority of them put in so much work. And then, you know what? They got to deal with you. You as a parent. They got to deal with your kid who might be a jerk, might be great, might not be. And then they got to deal with you. And parents can be awful. Kevin, you know this. You're a coach. And there's a lot of similarity. You're teaching kids to play a sport. Parents can be a real pain to the coach. They could be a real pain to teachers. So I think they deserve every bit of every raise they get, and they deserve every bit of time off they get too.
Could you imagine dealing with a room that's like 25 kids and 8 of them are me?
Oh, brutal.
Could you imagine that? Because that
Brutal.
was my grade school.
But your parents are probably nice.
No, my parents are.
I forgot.
I'll tell you, my dad can be that guy. Let me tell you.
No,
Rick
wait.
is a meddler.
Rick Wheeler?
Oh, yeah, Rick's a meddler.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you
He
mentioned
gets stuff done, though, but he's a meddler.
8 of you in a classroom. I
Yeah.
forgot. Did you go to a public school?
I went to Catholic schools.
Okay, was it the nun with the ruler?
Yes, we made Sister Aquinas cry in 6th grade.
Oh my
God,
gosh.
what a bunch of-
And I'm saying,
Kevin.
listen, I'm not proud of it. I'm just saying, like, that's how bad we were at that age. And she was like one of the tough nuns too. She wasn't like the nice, sweet, you guys calm down. Like, she was like a dictator. Like, she was tough, and we broke her down because we were terrible. And
You made a tough nun
yes,
cry?
and again, now I feel bad about it. At the time, we were just like, we won. You're a
Wow.
bunch of 6th graders who are just out of control. And I'll tell you this: Judy Proden, the 7th grade, 8th grade teacher at our school, first at 7th grade, and then at 8th grade. So I had her for 2 years in a row. My group did. Straightened us out in the snap of a fingers. She was a mom of 3 boys or 2 boys, and she knew how to line us up and shut us down. And I'm going to tell you right now, she was still friends of our family. And she passed away not that long ago, a couple of years ago. But she was actually a neighbor of my parents. And she'd come over for the holidays and tell all these stories about how me and my brother were such pains. And she straightened out our class.
Wow. Now, I know. I was going to say, I know she was successful in her class, which is awesome for her. But I bet you took 10 years off her life.
Not.
Oh, probably.
Not Judy Proden. No.
You don't think so?
She
around
probably
if it
took
weren't for
5
you.
years off our lives. That's how tough she was. And she was great, too.
Did she have a boat oar?
I don't think she just, what's funny is she was none of those. Like, you hear like in high school, we had the teacher, we had the priest with the hockey stick and, the guy with the paddle that we talked about before.
Oh my
Grade
gosh.
school, she had none of those things. Never the ruler, never any of it. She ruled by just sheer force of will.
Wow.
We were scared to death of her.
I admire that.
She knew what she was doing, man. She did the Jedi mind tricks. First week, we're like, oh, man,
I believe
this is now different.
I believe in psychological games.
She was good
Oh
at
my
that.
gosh.
I believe in it.
Oh, no. You listen,
Yeah.
if you've raised kids, you understand that there are sometimes you have to play those mind games to get around some obstacles. But again, she had 2 boys, and she knew exactly how to shut us up. Exactly.
If you don't go to bed soon, the monster will jump out of the closet and
That's
get
not
you.
how you do it.
That's how
One of
I'm afraid of closets now.
That's not how you do it.
this is awful. Okay, I don't even know if I should say it because it sounds awful. But a friend of mine, in order to get her kids to behave, they would always talk about the man. Like, oh, you gotta watch out. The
Oh,
man's gonna
yeah.
come.
The man?
The
Yeah,
man.
the man.
Yeah.
Like the
Wait, what?
like
the boogeyman?
but it's just
But
the
they
man.
just call him the man. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you better behave.
That's actually
otherwise-
scarier because it
Isn't it?
sounds real.
It
Yes.
sounds awful.
You
I
say the
know.
boogeyman, I'm like, you said boogie when I was a
That
kid. You're like,
is
no big deal.
genius.
That's why she said, in retrospect,
I love it.
we probably shouldn't have used the man.
You probably shouldn't be scaring your kids into
Yes.
into complying with your will.
Fully
That's not
disagree.
healthy.
Fully disagree.
I will
the
tell you,
man will
though-
come and get you, and the man. Do you know what the man does? The man takes children parts and use them for himself.
No,
yeah,
no,
that's what
no,
you do.
No, yeah. See,
Yeah.
that's when you get the kid.
Kid will do whatever you want then.
No. See, what you don't understand is then you have months of a crying kid in your bed in the middle of the night every night.
Now-
You get
Okay.
At least
awakened
he's-
Can I
at
just
3 o'clock
At least
in
he's
the
not
morning.
being loud.
with wait till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Can I
Nah.
just
When
clarify?
the nightmares kick
What's that?
in.
My friend never said any of the stuff that Ranji just said.
I
He's
doubt
a
it.
I know.
uniquely horrible person.
I don't believe it. I believe that's
I
what
will
they
say
said.
this though, for a parent, and I bet a lot of the parents listening agree with me. The fall is the best time of the year because you can hold Santa. I mean, like Santa's watching in
He's the
October.
That's right. Yeah, Santa's over your head.
watching in October, November, December, and I'm telling you, when kids realize that the big man's watching,
Yeah.
they line up real quick.
And the other 9 months,
So
it's,
kids-
it's the man
kids-
waiting for you outside your window.
And actually, I should say, if the kids are listening, it's not just in the fall. Santa's watching year
Kevin,
round.
If you think the kids are
All the
listening to
time.
this show,
Hey, listen.
what
You
do you
never
think
know.
this
Because
is?
they're in the car.
You never know who's in the car with
Yeah.
them, with mom and dad. And I'm saying, kids, Santa's watching now, not just in November, not just in December.
And-
He's watching now.
And
And
guess
starting in January, the man's going to be watching.
Well,
the
no.
man, stop that.
Santa's watching now, and you can watch Santa in 2 days because the
Oh?
countdown to Christmas starts on Hallmark and Great American.
That's
Family.
fantastic.
I know.
Oh, noes.
I love this time of year.
That's really great.
It's
It's
the
the
most
best.
wonderful time of the year. Santa! I know him.
Do you know why it's the best
I
time of the
know
year?
him.
You know why it's the best time of the year?
Easy, buddy.
Because the man's not around.
Yeah.
This is when the man goes into hibernation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad.
Don't do what Ron
Well-
just saying. Don't scare your kids. That's not good.
You can if you want. It'll
Well,
be fine.
if you don't want to sleep again, go ahead. And by the way,
It'll be all
speaking of that, we're going to talk about not getting enough sleep, and that's
Oh.
pretty bad for you. Coming up next on the show.
I am having computer problems.
She's thinking about the man.
Hey, why don't we tell our fine listeners about something else?
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at ThrottleNet. These are the genius IT guys I've been representing for years and years now. We are number one all the time. Best in customer service from Small Business Monthly. Best in cybersecurity, again, Small Business Monthly. We have an average response time. I love this statistic. The average response time in St. Louis in 2020 by IT companies. You have a problem, you reach out to them, hey, I'm all shut down, help me, was 3 hours. If you got back within 3 hours, you were cool. Ours was 1 minute, 57 seconds, and the guys were very unhappy with that. It takes less than 2 minutes for us to address your problems. Here's a huge thing. We are now offering $500,000 in ransom protection to everyone who uses us. This is part of the deal. You don't pay extra for it. So if you happen to be hit and you have to pay, we're going to pay it up to $500,000. Now, this shows you how confident we are because no one under our protection has ever had to pay. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS.
Hi, this is Steve Weiss, the former owner of Creve Coeur Camera, now the Photo Pros. Our finest service is taking all of your family memories and preserving them. Families or estates of families bring us their collection of photos, slides, negatives, albums, movies, framed photos, and even newspaper articles for us to make digital copies for you to share with the entire family. Most importantly, nothing leaves St. Louis. Call 314-567-3456, or you can Google the Photo Pros or even Creve Coeur Camera.
Okay, what I wanted to tell you about earlier, but I was just too excited, is STL Fence Works. This is my favorite time of the year. It's fall. The hot weather has finally broken. It's beautiful outside. It's time to barbecue, have friends over. And it's hard to do that if you don't have a great outdoor space. STL Fence Works can help you out with any of your leisure space projects. If you need to put in a new deck, maybe you have an old one or never actually put up that deck, STL FenceWorks can build a deck that is sturdier than your home and adds value to your home. The same thing with the fence. If you need a little bit more privacy or you want just a bit more separation so that you have that little area set out for you and your family, it doesn't blend into all the other yards, STL FenceWorks can help you out. They are the #1 fence and deck contractor in the state of Missouri. That's important because they've been able to leverage that position to make sure that they can keep all of the supplies and materials on hand at all times. That means there's no long lead-in time when you have a project through STL FenceWorks. It also means that the prices have stayed down. It's affordability and craftsmanship with STL FenceWorks. They are family-owned and operated, locally owned and operated, as they have been for over half a century, back in 1971 when Russ and Carolyn Long opened STL FenceWorks, and now their son, Sean Timothy Long, he runs the company. Craftsmanship, affordability, no long lead-in times, stlfenceworks.com.
Gas Appliance Service and the Fireplace and Grill Center have a huge selection of gas logs in stock to make your home warm and inviting. Don't get caught in the cold. Shop now for great prices, selection, and schedule your expert installation before long lead times of the holiday rush. See the beautiful burning displays at Gas Appliance Service near Westport or the Fireplace and Grill Center, a quarter mile east of 141 on the south side of Manchester Road. Hurry while supplies last. Gas Appliance Service and the Fireplace and Grill Center.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. or call 314-328-8000.
The Center for Hearing and Speech empowers communication. To see how they can help you, call 314-968-4710 or go to chsstl.org.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
The show on KMOX.
All right, coming up on 1 o'clock, you Christmas lovers, top of the hour, we got an interview with Al Petrelli, who's a guitarist for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and they're coming to town here in a little bit. So you guys are getting your wish. We're starting the Christmas festivities off today.
Let's go.
So
all right. It's the most.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
no!
I got
that. Amy, not that.
I can turn off her mic.
Oh, did you? Good job.
Yeah.
Good.
All
That
right.
was quick, too.
There you go.
Very impressive.
Because his sleazy little hand is right near the microphone button.
Okay. That's okay. Hey, how much sleep do you guys get? Like a typical day, like normal. Not a bad day, not a great day, but like a normal, average, everyday sleep.
So are we measuring when we lay down and go to bed and then wake up?
How many hours do you think you're actually asleep?
6.5. 6 to 6.5.
Okay.
I bet I'm in the 6 range.
Okay.
It's not enough, though. I know it's
I'm
not enough.
typically
because-
7,
Yeah.
but on
Well-
the weekends it's more like 9.
I try to
I
be
need
7,
9.
but I think I wake up a lot.
Do you?
In the middle of the
I
night.
do not wake up. I sleep, and then I wake up when my alarm goes off.
Yeah, I sleep really well, and I fall asleep when my head hits the pillow. The problem is it doesn't hit the pillow like early enough. I'm trying to be very mindful because I know that 6.5, even 7 hours of sleep is not enough. And I can tell you with running, it's really not enough
Now,
because I feel like dying most of the time.
Reason I brought it up is there's a study and this is actually a really interesting study because it covered like 25 years. So they went back and they were looking, it was out of the UK, and they were looking at like public sector workers. And they started measuring them 25 years ago and asking them how much they sleep. And then how does that correlate with various health problems that pop up?
Mhm.
So what they've discovered is not shocking, but because it was such a long study, I thought it was interesting. If you sleep 5 hours a night or less, not good. You're going to have health problems.
Yeah.
And the kind of things that you're at greater risk for would include diabetes, cancer, coronary heart disease, stroke, heart failure, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, chronic kidney disease, liver disease, depression, dementia, mental disorders, Parkinson's, and arthritis.
Every damn thing possible.
Yes.
Sleep is so
Yes.
important. So important. And we all deprive ourselves of it. And I think one of the main reasons is because we are a culture that is like work, and you got to work, you got to do all these things. And then you try to squeeze so much else into your day because you have other responsibilities. But we focus so much on it's a badge of pride to go to work and be at work all day and to work later, come in earlier, and then you just don't have time. You don't leave your time self to sleep. And I think that's true for a lot of people and maybe the foundation of why this happens.
Yeah, I would agree. And again, if I was going on 5 hours, I'd be terrible. I'd be miserable.
Yeah,
So-
by the end of the week, I'd be wiped.
I will have to say that when I was tutoring and doing broadcasting for the Blues and writing and teaching like AP literature, it was an unsustainable lifestyle that I would say I was burning the candle at both ends for about 3.5 years. That ended in 2019. I would say I am still suffering health effects from that. Like it really broke me down just trying to keep going, trying to work, trying to run. And so I am more mindful. For instance, I was super tired and didn't run this morning because I knew the sleep is more important.
Good times.
And I have a lot of friends, and like I'm sure you do too, Kev, that worked morning shows, which means you get up like 2:30 in the morning. Every one of them says, I'm positive this has taken years off my life.
Oh my God. I only did it for 7 months and it was
Awful.
horrible. And I was a lot younger then too, man.
Yeah.
Like late 20s. It was not cool because you're splitting your sleep.
You know, it's better
every
staying up till
single day.
4 a.m.
Yeah, and then sleeping till noon. That's the best.
Dr. Travis Stork here to tell you about a great pain reliever called Salonpas Pain Relieving Patches. Salonpas is pain medicine in a patch. You stick it right on sore muscles for up to 8 hours. Clinical research has shown that people that used Salonpas reported less pain with improvement in mood, sleep, and the ability to work. Safe, effective relief is one peel and place away. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Let's talk real estate for a minute. The St. Louis market is kind of tricky for home sellers right now, with home values going down and not selling as quickly. Now is not the time to risk losing precious equity on your home. This is Debbie Monterey, and I always recommend calling Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria's the best. She's experienced every type of market, both good, great, and the not so good. So before you list your home for sale, call Gloria, and here's why. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed to price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself, guaranteed in writing. Gloria already has the buyers, thousands of buyers in her database. In fact, your home may already be sold. Gary and Angela called Gloria and sold their home even before it listed because Gloria had several buyers looking for a home in that area. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, we have sunshine and 49 degrees. It feels like 45 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel with our top story. President Biden says his administration is doing what it can to lower the price of gas, with the Energy Department releasing more oil from its national reserve. But he denies it's politically motivated just weeks before the midterm elections.
That's my response.
Is it politically motivated, sir?
No, it's not.
3 weeks before the midterms.
Look, it makes sense. I've been doing this for how long now? It's not politically motivated at all.
We now know where ARPA funds awarded to St. Louis from the Build Back Better Regional Challenge are going.
Our babies can't be what they can't see.
$25 million in ARPA funds, plus another 16 or so in matching dollars, will help build the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation Center in North St. Louis City. Mayor Tashar Jones.
Parents like me across St. Louis are asking themselves right now, how will my child get a job at NGA? And soon they'll ask the same of AMEC STL. What does this mean for me and my community?
$7 million going to that project. $1 million is going to Run for Women to prepare women for careers in that field. Another big chunk, $7.5 million, goes to Bio STL, Harris Stowe, WePower, and Small Business Empowerment Center, ensuring the economic growth is inclusive. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Mayor Jones was joined by Congresswoman Cori Bush and Alejandro Castillo, a senior official with the U.S. Department of Commerce, to discuss the grant at Greater St. Louis, Inc. Families with children in a contaminated elementary school say they were told splitting classmates up wasn't going to be the first option. Ashley Burnaugh, president of the Jana Elementary PTA, tells KMOX's Total Information AM they expected other alternatives would be considered.
But it was absolutely articulated in that letter that a secondary school would be secured for us. And if no other site could be found, only then would redistricting become on the table.
The Hazelwood School Board voted to start virtual learning at Jana Elementary after the Thanksgiving break, reassigned students to other elementary schools. Burnaugh says they're heartbroken their community will be dismantled. Recent tests confirmed families' concerns about high levels of radioactive contamination throughout the school and its grounds. A 49-year-old St. Louis man sentenced to 20 years in prison for running a drug ring. Matthew Shelp pleaded guilty last July to conspiracy and possession with intent to distribute meth, cocaine, crack, heroin, fentanyl, and marijuana. He admitted that beginning in 2020, he'd arranged to have drugs mailed from Las Vegas to several locations in the St. Louis area. One package found by Las Vegas police had about 6 pounds of meth. Another package was caught at a postal distribution center in Hazelwood with nearly 3 kilos of cocaine. Investigators also caught him selling nearly 900 grams of meth to a co-defendant last March. 11 defendants in the case have pleaded guilty. 4 others have already been sentenced. Well, Game 2 of the National League Championship Series is tonight, and brothers Austin and Aaron Nola will face each other. Aaron will be the starting pitcher for the Phillies, and one of the batters he'll face is his 32-year-old brother, San Diego Padres catcher Austin. The Phillies lead the matchup 1-0 going into tonight's game at Petco Park in San Diego. The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, a group of major U.S. businesses, wants government to hide key import data. KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz says that would make it hard to track who made the items.
If that becomes private, it is almost impossible for news reports or NGOs to know when products are made with exploited labor or child labor. So it's important in the sense of knowing where our products are, or knowing where we can apply pressure as consumers to stop abusive labor practices.
Other forms of transport do not provide the same level of transparency. Cat says ocean-going freight is currently the only source of customs data. Those ships account for about half of the goods entering the U.S. every year. The Dow from Stifel at this hour down 234 points. Watch for a stalled vehicle 270 northbound at 44. It's on the right shoulder. A stall 70 westbound at Grand has the left lane closed. It could be reopen in about 10 minutes. The KMOX forecast for tonight, partly cloudy and cold, the low of 30 to 35. Then another warm up begins, partly sunny and warmer, 71 for tomorrow, 80 for Friday. Right now it's 49 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
105 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And obviously you can hear in the background, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They're coming to town on December 10th for a couple of shows. It's going to be a 3 p.m. show and a 7:30 show at Enterprise Center. And we're happy to have Al Petrelli with us here on the show, who is a guitarist for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And Al, first of all, thank you for doing this. It's great to hear from you, and I hope you're doing well.
Well, thank you so much for having me today, and it's good to hear your voice, and I hope everybody's good by you as well.
Good. So I want to set the room for you a little bit here because Amy and Chris are super nerds when it comes to Christmas and Christmas music, and I'm not. I don't like Christmas carols, but I'm going to tell you, Al, I like Trans-Siberian Orchestra because this is my thing. I mean, I'm a rock guy. I know you are too. I know you've played with Alice Cooper. I know you played with Megadeth. And this is my speed. So first of all, thank you guys for the work that you do in making some of this cool. It helps me out a great deal during the holidays.
Well, you're so welcome. And it's funny you say that. You know, there's such a diverse audience that kind of gravitated towards the Trans-Siberian Orchestra after the last 26 to 27 years. It's just amazing. People who don't like metal kind of gravitated towards it. People who don't like classical music ended up being fans of it. So
yeah,
I'm just proud to be part of the whole thing.
Do you think it would blow up like it did?
Not in a million years.
Because you've been with them for a long time, right?
From the jump.
Wow.
Yes, sir. From the jump. You know, it's weird because I knew the song you were just playing, Chris C. Sarajevo, when I first started working for Paul O'Neill, the gentleman who created this whole thing. He invited me into the studio to work on that track. And I knew it was really powerful. I knew it was really heavy, but never did I think it was going to, you know, have the impact that it did. I mean, you know, you have a hit single on your hands when Talk Radio is playing the song.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You know what I mean, dude?
Yep.
So, you know, no, I didn't see this one on the radar. Paul, he told me, he goes, I want to create great art. And if it happens to catch on, bonus. And well, it kind of did. So here we are.
Because that concept had not been done before, right? A
No, ma'am.
heavier sound, a rock sound with Christmas music. That would be like The Odd Couple.
Yeah, you know, on paper it shouldn't have worked. You know.
Well,
But,
you know,
you know, listen, Paul had a vision for something he wanted to create. It wasn't going to be commercially acceptable or viable. No, like you had just said, you know, there was nothing like that. But that's kind of the secret to some sort of success, because when I was a kid, I'd never heard anything like Led Zeppelin before Led Zeppelin.
Right.
And it immediately got my attention, everybody else on the planet. You know, same thing with Guns N' Roses, same thing with Nirvana, whatever. You know, there's always a band that comes out that's making a left turn when everybody else is making a right turn. And that's kind of, you know, the magic that Paul had.
Al, you are my brother from another mother. I mean, I'm nodding my head everything you're saying because bringing these things together is important. You know, I mean, I don't mean this in like in an artistic way necessarily, although that is true. But I think it's just fun to have the crossover. You know, there isn't much crossover, forgetting just Christmas music, but there isn't much crossover between classical sound and and the rock sound, and bringing that together and doing it well is not easy.
No, it's not easy, and people have tried it before. But you know, again, Paul had the Midas touch, where you know, very complex pieces of music, but he made them, you know, accessible to the listener. You know, I remember like it was yesterday, the first time we played a live show at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia in 1999, and I had my Les Paul around my neck. The curtain was down. I was a little antsy about, you know, a sold out show. You know, we had never played a show before, so I was kind of excited, but a little apprehensive as to who's in the audience. Anyway, the long and short of it is the curtain comes up. We hit the downbeat of the first song, and right in front of me is this really attractive older couple, like grandparents, wearing those crocheted reindeer sweaters that people wear.
Yeah.
And dude, but brother, right next to them was a guy wearing a Slayer hoodie.
Yes. Yeah, you're bringing people together. That's the best.
Oh, you know, so I had half a heart attack. I'm like, this is going to go one of two ways, you know. And at the end of the show, they gave us a standing ovation, and I was so put back on my heels that I literally walked off the front of the stage just to, you know, shake hands and hug everybody, because it's like, this is the most amazing moment in my life. It shouldn't have worked, but it went over. It exceeded every one of my expectations, and it's been like that for, 23, 24 years of touring now. You know, it's incredible. It's so much fun to stand in my spot, you know, from my vantage point, to look at the audience and see 2-year-olds to 92-year-olds. You know, it's so much fun.
Yeah, and see, otherwise, Kevin loves you, and he's been geeking out for a while that he wants to talk to you, but he hates Christmas music. and meanwhile, Amy and I'm ready to listen to Christmas tunes now. It's October 19th. I'm ready right now. What do you think is the appropriate time? And be totally honest and try to be impartial too, because I know it's your music, and you're going to say, well, now it's all year. It's great. But no, be honest. When's it okay to start listening to Christmas music?
Well, I tell you what, I went into Lowe's yesterday to get something, and all the Christmas stuff is out. So I guess it's on right now.
Yeah, great.
Damn it, they won, Al.
Yep, we won.
I've been saying we got to wait a little bit, but no. I mean, and look, as I've joked with them, and again, this is why I think what you guys do with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra is important, because, you know, my problems with Christmas music are not the themes. It's not, you know, the happiness and the joy that we get. It's just I don't like old-timey music. I don't like things that sound like they're from the 1930s or 40s. And what I really appreciate is I can kind of enjoy the faster pace, the diversity of sound, and, of course, someone like you playing the guitar.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. Listen, there's certain things that I hear that are part of, like, the soundtrack of my life growing up. You know, if I hear Nat King Cole do the Christmas song, Chestnuts, whatever. If I hear, Vince Schiraldi's theme from Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Yes.
I hear Donny Hathaway's This Christmas. You know, there's certain things that, like, I love to go back into my past, because music has a bizarre way of kind of transcending you back to, you know, when you first heard it, you know?
Right. Oh, absolutely. Okay. So speaking of music that you heard growing up, and I didn't realize, you're like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You're connected to everybody in the music industry. And I didn't realize this, but I love Michael Bolton. And is it true that you started, and Michael Bolton was a part of the beginning of your career as well, because you read the credits on the Everybody Crazy album, and then a bunch of you and your friends learned Michael Bolton tunes and then said, hey, we can be your touring band.
Yeah, exactly. We were so hungry. And now you got to understand, this is 1984, 1985, when, you know, there were actually A records that you can buy. And, you know, they had, like, the credits on the back, and they listed, you know, the manager's name, the phone number, you know, this is a different world 40 years ago, you know? And exactly, a bunch of buddies and myself, we started, like, rehearsing in one of the guys' basements, learning every song without even the prospect of an audition. And the other guitar player, his name is Tony Bruno. He was Enrique Iglesias' MD for a while, so he went on to do really good things as well. He would his job was to hound the manager to get us an audition, you know. And somehow magically he got him on the phone. He said, okay, enough with you guys. You're annoying. You just come to the rehearsal studio. You got your 15-minute shot. And, you know, Michael Bolton walked in. He goes, I heard you know some of my music. I'm like, no, sir, we know all of it. Call it. Go.
Wow.
You know, like the snotty little brat that I am. But here's the kick in the head. Here's how life is really just an incredible journey. One of the guys working in his office, like, he was managed by a company that was the biggest management company in the world back then. They had they had Aerosmith, Ted Nugent, AC/DC, Def Leppard. It was just an incredible, you know, company. One of the guys working in there was a dude named Paul O'Neill. And Paul came up to me and he goes, I can't believe you kids from Long Island invented a job. That's like the coolest thing ever. One of these days, you and I are going to work together. And you fast forward 10 years and Paul called me up to play those notes on that song you were just playing, and the rest is history.
Man, I'll tell you what,
so cool.
That's a hell of a story. I mean, first of all, I would never have made the Michael Bolton connection, because I'm thinking of you with Alice Cooper and Megadeth and Sabotage.
Kevin loves Megadeth.
Yes, I do. You guys, I mean, that's the stuff that I've grown up on and have stuck with even as a 50-year-old man. And I know you've been, doing this for a long time, but it's got to be fun to be able to cross over all the time like this.
All the time, because, when I grew up, I was 2 years old in 1964, and the Beatles hit Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
Okay. That was it for me. I was done. Much to my parents' chagrin, I wanted nothing to do with anything else, And you got to think about, like in the early 1960s, you had AM radio. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, the only two genres of music that existed back then was good and bad.
Yeah.
Good way to put it. Yeah, good way to put it.
That's how Kevin
That
sees
was it, because on my dad's Pontiac, on his little Delco AM radio, 1 minute there's Frank Sinatra, Barbra Streisand, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, Gladys Knight, Marvin Gaye, whatever it is, show tunes from a Sound of Music or West Side Story, And then, it was like, so I was just open to all kinds of music. I didn't care. If it was a good song, it was a good song.
That's great stuff. Al, I know you got a lot to do today. I know you got another call waiting. We really appreciate this, and we'll definitely want to reach out and maybe talk to you again sometime soon. But you guys have the winter tour kicking off. It's the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the Ghosts of Christmas Eve, and, of course, coming to St. Louis on December 10th for a 3 o'clock and a 7:30 show at Enterprise Center. And, of course, tickets at Ticketmaster.com and all other places associated with the shows. Thank you for doing this, man. Have fun. Good luck with the tour. Hope it all goes well for you.
No, you guys are so welcome. Have a wonderful and safe holiday, and much love to all your families. And I'll talk to you soon, I hope.
Thank you much, and we'll definitely look forward to that. That's my guy, man. Al Petrelli's my new best friend.
Awesome.
I think we're best friends now.
I think we all are. It's the 6 degrees of
You
Kevin.
guys, you guys want to have me like Christmas songs?
There it is.
Have Al on guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm
done.
Now I'm in.
See, look how happy you are now.
I'm so happy. I mean, like, that was fun. Could you imagine that, though? You're going out there. I mean, he's toured with Alice Cooper and Megadeth and Sabotage, and he gets to do that first show for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
People with their Christmas sweaters on.
You've got like Grandma and
Awesome.
Grandpa right next to the Slayer dude.
Love that.
And a Michael
what a
Bolton
great
fan.
And played for Michael Bolton.
I love that they learned all the songs. And he said, "So I hear you know some of my songs." No, sir. We know all of them.
Great.
All right, so we're going to go out with a little bit more.
There you
Listen
go.
to that guitar.
Oh, I hear it, man. You know what? I got to be honest. It wasn't my favorite. I think I can get down with it now.
Yeah, see.
Al's the best. He's awesome.
Forget, I'm not even kidding. Forget Bing Crosby and all that. I'll listen to this.
Well, I mean,
Bing's
you don't
great,
have to
come on.
forget Bing Crosby.
No, I will. You don't have to.
You can love
do what you
both.
want.
Bing might have been a jerk,
You guys
but the
can love
music's
both.
great.
Al clearly loves both. I'm going to be stuck in my ways. It's just how I am.
No.
Hey, coming up a little bit later on this hour, things that St. Louisans like to argue about and may never stop arguing about. That'll be coming up in a bit here on the show.
Well, speaking of arguing, I don't think any of us would argue that the past couple of years have been a little bumpy, to say the least. And if you are a business owner, you've had to deal with some obstacles, whether it is restrictions, shutdowns, inflation, supply chain issues. If you could use a little bit of a break, why don't you check out getrefunds.com? That's right, getrefunds.com. If your business has 5 or more employees and managed to survive the past couple of years, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee. And don't be intimidated by all the terminology of tax refunds, tax rebates, and the government. It can be a little bit, overwhelming. You want to make sure you do it right. The team of tax attorneys they have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program and have already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you too. Yes, that's the team of tax attorneys at getrefunds.com. They do all the work with no charge up front. Simply, they share a percentage of the cash that they get for you, and businesses of all types can qualify. So you may think, I don't know if I'll qualify because I took PPP or I'm a nonprofit. You may still qualify. All you have to do is go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. Getrefunds.com.
We're days away from the midterms that will impact the direction of this country. You're being bombarded with messages. Good luck sifting through the information yourself.
When I do a search on Google and you do a search on Google, we're getting very different results.
What are media outlets responsible for?
You hold your nose and you air the ad.
Information, misinformation, disinformation, and the midterms coverage you'll find only on KMOX.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed. I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes, cowboy boots, running shoes, walking shoes, flat shoes, heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Dearborn.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available, and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, October 19th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce rapid results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is unprecedented, worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
Live and local. This is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
All right, 122 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, and Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy, what were you just asking?
Okay, I have a question. How do you guys feel about window unit air conditioners, not as a supplemental air conditioning system, but as the air conditioning system in your house or apartment or condo?
No, thank you.
Well, you're thinking about your house.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about where I live, and it's
Right.
perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because I have one. I have 2, in fact. Things are going really well for me.
Nice.
I have
You went
2.
for the double. Attaboy.
This is like in Back to the
bedroom
Future.
and the living room, I assume?
Nobody has 2 television sets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bedroom
so
and living room, right?
Yeah, living room, bedroom,
Yep.
and they work fine. Like I have no problem with temperature, but a lot of it is the walls in my building are like concrete. I think
Mhm.
like there's not very much passing from one room to the other. You're not losing a lot of heat.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's or a lot of cool or heat. So it's really easy to regulate temperature where I live.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
even in the rooms, whether it's a sitting room or your kitchen, that do not have the window unit, it stays cool.
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
Right.
The only problem I have is that the window unit in the living room is by the TV. And when it kicks on in the summer, it's
Yeah.
loud. And I have to turn up the TV.
Yeah, I mean, I've
That's
had
it's an inconvenience.
when I lived in apartments both before and after college, I had
Yeah.
them, and they're fine in that setting. I would want no part of that in any form of house.
Hmm.
Well-
You'd have to have 6 of them to not have parts of the house that are just hot all the time.
When
Or-
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
in college, the dorm I lived in, it was an older dorm, and they didn't have AC.
Oh, the one I was, it was like an ice box. It was great.
So there was a workaround. You could tell I think it was like, I don't know, whatever office with the university, hey, I've got allergy problems. I need an air conditioner. And I learned it from a guy who lived down the hallway. He did that and got around it. And he was one of the only rooms. And I went, I'm doing the same thing. So I got my doctor wrote a note for me.
Nice.
And I got an AC. They installed it for me.
I got to tell you, I mean, like, it's crazy. I think they just demolished the dorms that I went to.
Oh,
but
mine too. Mine are gone.
They were relatively new though when I got there. Man, by relative, they're probably built within the 10 years I was around that time.
Yeah,
and it was so cold. I mean, it was the best. And they pumped that thing at like 65 degrees.
You're in Miami.
year-round.
You have to.
I know you have to. The apartments though that we ended up living in on campus later, those were older and they had the wall units. And dude, I mean,
it was bad.
Not great. I mean. If they were working great, it was fine. It was tolerable. But man, if one of them was bad, oh man.
See, I run hot because we'll come in after the news and Debbie or Carol will be here and they have a shawl or a sweater or something because they're generally cold. I am always so hot, so I sleep best when it's super cold. I just turned the heat on yesterday for the first time. And it wasn't at night. It was when I got back from my run and I was getting ready for work because then, you're kind of sweaty and you're cold. And it was 58 degrees in my apartment. So I slept with it at 58 and that's what it was. I got ready for work and I did turn the heat on only because that part was a little chilly.
That's a bit much.
It kind of is.
It's usually, yeah, no, that's how cold it got before I turned the heat on. But I slept perfectly because you can pile on blankets and quilts, which is a lovely thing.
Or you could just turn the heat on a little bit.
It could. But you asked the question about the window units and I think back to it wasn't even that long ago, like a month maybe, the heat wave that went across I mean, we had it, Europe had it. And in England, they don't have air conditioning.
Nope.
That's why it was so dangerous.
Like 90%.
You guys had it growing up? Like, did you have it at your houses?
Oh,
growing up?
Yeah.
We did not. I did not have air conditioning.
Because you're in Michigan.
So I didn't have air conditioning until high school.
So,
we moved into a new house in high school, and that was the first time we had air conditioning.
But not
We
totally,
didn't even have window units. We had fans.
Oh.
Not totally unheard of in Michigan, though.
No. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. There were a lot of summers you're like, this
So my
sucks.
running buddy grew up in Iowa, and he grew up in rural Iowa, and they did not have central heating. So they had a wood stove that you'd wake up in the middle of the night and put logs in. And I thought this was very, very out of the norm, which it kind of is. But my sister also has a friend. These are not boomers. These are Gen Xers who my sister's friend also, they had a wood burning stove. I think there are probably more people who grow up with wood burning stoves in the Gen X generation than we realize, because somehow we know a couple of them.
We had electric ranges.
I don't think we had that. But I
electric range?
Like an oven, like an actual oven.
No, they had ovens. I'm talking about the heating.
I see.
They were
Yeah, no, we had a regular.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that. No, we had a regular heater.
Yeah.
In our house.
No, this was like heat with a stove, or I guess I called it a furnace.
I wonder how difficult it's going to be for regions around the world now to have to deal with how much the weather changes and how dramatically it changes. Like, because what they experienced in Europe over a month ago, that ain't going to go away. Like, they're going to start seeing that more and more. This will be really fascinating to see how we move forward.
All right, coming up next, there was a story in the Riverfront Times that had 50 things that St. Louisans will forever argue about. I think we might argue about a few of those coming up next on the show.
Weeknights at 6. It's the Meyer Jensen Sports Open Line.
Welcome into the program. My name is Matt Pauley.
Matt gets you inside the world of sports. Cardinals, Chiefs, Pelicans. You'll get it all and much more.
We have an exclusive podcast that's Cardinals related called CardsCast.
Plus great guests, insight, and conversations with you.
If you want to join us, you can do so by calling or texting
the Meyer Jensen Sports Open Line on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 7, right here on KMOX.
Tom Ackerman here for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. This month, the United Way celebrates 100 years of helping those in our region. And of course, Busey Bank continues its long-standing involvement. Our October podcast focuses on what the United Way means to our community and the many ways you can get involved. Listen to our October podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
At 1:30, we have sunny skies and 50 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. A woman in town for a crime scene investigation seminar who was raped in her hotel room has received a massive settlement from a St. Louis jury, $177 million. The New Jersey Sheriff's deputy was in a room at the Hyatt Regency at the Arch in 2016 when security guard David White, who had a record of assault, used his master key to get into her room. He pleaded guilty to misdemeanor sexual abuse. He received probation. The Hyatt admitted violating its own hiring rules. Half of the punitive damages will go to the state of Missouri for a tort victims compensation fund. A man convicted of killing Angela Rowe and her 3 young daughters in Jennings in 2003 has a date to pay for the crimes. Leonard Taylor is set to be executed in the state prison in Bonne Terre on February 7th. Mortgage applications have tumbled to a 25-year low. The Mortgage Bankers Association reports purchase applications fell nearly 4%, while refi apps were down almost 7% from the prior week. The 30-year fixed mortgage rate surged 13 points higher to 6.94%, the highest since 2002. Taking a look at the commute. There is a crash, 44 eastbound at Jefferson. The right lane is closed. MoDOT says it could be closed for another 45 minutes or so. Watch for a stalled vehicle, 64 eastbound before Route K. That is on the right shoulder. The forecast sponsored by Reinhold Flooring. Look for an overnight low of 30 to 35 degrees with partly cloudy skies. It'll be much warmer tomorrow, partly sunny Thursday, the high 71, 80, and sunny Friday. Right now, it's sunny and 50 degrees downtown at the Arch. Want beautiful first-class flooring at a competitive price? Call Reinhold Flooring with professional craftsmen and a knowledgeable, caring sales staff that helped earn them St. Louis Magazine's best flooring store 2 years in a row. Schedule a free in-home measuring consultation at reinholdflooring.com. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
For all your communication needs, check out the Center for Hearing and Speech. Call today, 314-968-4710 or chsstl.org.
On my way home today, I'm heading to the grocery store. I'm going to be picking up some Brew Pub Lots of Matzo Pizza. Not sure if I want to have that like on a weeknight. Like I'm on my own for dinner tomorrow night, so it might end up being my dinner tomorrow night. And if it's not that, then it's going to be a part of my playoff baseball watching, college football watching, pro football watching weekend coming up. So the best thing about the Brew Pub Lots of Matzo Pizza is that it's right there in the grocery store for you. It's right there in the freezer aisle. But also that it's different than the rest of those pizzas you're going to see there. And they like to show off the high-quality ingredients, right? The half pound of award-winning Wisconsin mozzarella cheese on every pizza. Great toppings. Lots of choices, too. That's the beauty of it. From the regular ones to from the traditional, the pepperoni and sausage to the fancier ones, the taco pizza, the breakfast pizza. I still love the Hawaiian pizza. And with, the leaves falling off the trees and the weather getting a little cooler, there's nothing like that hot pizza coming out of the oven at your home, not having to go anywhere with the Brew Pub Lots of Matzo Pizza. And by the way, go to KMOX.com/contest. You have a chance to win a year supply of the Brew Pub Lots of Matzo Pizzas. But in the meantime, go get your own. It's right there in the freezer aisle at your grocery store.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Women's health decisions should be between herself and her doctor, not up to politicians like Jennifer Cordy. Cordy won't protect a woman's right to choose. She'll ban it completely. Cordy says women who are raped and then end the pregnancy are making a decision they regret later.
Politicians like Jennifer Cordy will make us less safe and less free. I'm Katie Stewart, candidate for state representative. I'll protect a woman's right to choose and ensure women have access to critical health services. I'm committed to ending violence against women by investing in domestic violence shelters and health care for survivors. I'm Katie Stewart. I'm fighting to make our communities safer. I voted to increase funding for more police and high-tech crime-fighting resources. It's why I've been endorsed by the FOP.
I trust Katie Stewart to make the right choice for all women in the state of Illinois.
I'm Katie Stewart. I'm focused on real results for our families. Paid for by Friends for Katie Stewart.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arenado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win!
The Chiefs.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
We are America's sports voice. KMOX.
135 on the show. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. I know the three of us in this room, me more than you two, but we all like to debate and argue. I'm addicted to it, so I realize that I am the worst about it.
Yes.
And I accept all criticisms about that.
You're not an ideologue like Amy and I.
I am not that, but I like to argue, though.
Yes, you do. You just like to win it.
Well, I mean, you don't really. You just try.
You like to outlast.
Yes, that's my thing. If I can't win the thing, I'm just going to keep going until
That's
you
why
say I'm done.
We had one earlier, and I'm like, we were starting. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
want to do this
Yeah.
because we're gonna be stuck here for 15 minutes, and I don't want to do this.
You're 100% right because
I just don't want to.
That has always been my rep, and everybody I know, family members, brother,
Amy too.
I will outlast you. Like Amy can outrun all of us.
Yeah,
I will argue anybody for distance, for length.
Actually hate arguing. It stresses me out.
Oh, it's so
Unfortunately, it's my job and I work with you guys.
Yeah.
You're so lucky. I think you're very lucky.
Somebody has to take the incorrect position.
Dave, do you think Amy is lucky to work with us? Kevin and me, I think so.
Well, having to work with you guys too, she's very unlucky.
Dave, rip that microphone
Bye,
out
Dave.
and
See
never
ya.
never talk into it again.
Bye.
Yeah. No, anyway, people argue. Some are really into it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am. And I apologize for it in advance because it will happen again. But
can you imagine Kevin like on a debate team and there's a moderator and the moderator's like Kevin
Forget it.
like, no, well, here's actually why.
No.
Like, oh God.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, my dad always said that I should have been a lawyer because I like to make arguments like that. I'd get the judge would constantly be yelling at me because I wouldn't stop.
You'd be in contempt
Yes.
a lot.
I would have probably, I'd probably have a lot of fines.
Mhm.
I have a lot of fines. So I made the right choice because I don't get fined for it now. But the kind of stuff we're talking about in debate and argue now is not that kind of stuff. Right? The Riverfront Times story is more fun, silly things that people in St. Louis allegedly argue
not
about.
to the people arguing.
Oh, really?
It's not fun
so
or
which
silly.
one are we getting into there?
Okay, let's start with this one. Okay, actually, some of these are too serious to joke about.
Oh, come on.
No, I was going to start with one that actually makes people mad. So let's start with one that's not political.
I kind of want to hear that one.
No. Is the zipper style of merging on the highway acceptable or a total
Blank
Well,
move.
First of all, this
Blank
is not a
move.
St. Louis thing. This is everywhere.
Yes, I agree.
But St. Louisans don't know what to do about it.
Well, there's only one answer.
Yes, I think we all agree on this.
Yes, you zipper.
You
Yep.
merge.
Use the zipper.
You merge at the merge point.
Where the lane disappears.
Not 2 miles early.
Yes.
Yep.
Do not block that open lane because that open lane is there on purpose so
Yep.
that if they didn't want you driving all the way up there, they would block it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is probably, Ranj, of all the things that irritates me, this is probably right there at the top.
And then that's why, and I'll just say this before we move on to the next one. When Ranj runs for some political office on the
Yes.
platform of having a matte finish on the highways,
Yep.
the second platform should be zipper merging. You have to merge at the zipper.
Say yes to
On-
Highway Matt.
On that right there, you would have my vote regardless of any other position.
What? Okay, and again, for people who don't understand what the Matt Highway finish is about,
Yeah.
it is because our highways are situated in such a way that the sun, when it bounces off them, if you're driving east or west at the correct time,
Mhm.
it's blinding like it's ice.
Yep.
I think it's the worst.
I wear sunglasses.
So do I.
Hmm.
The sunlight off the highway reaches into my car,
Yes.
pulls the glasses off my face, and throws them away and say, these aren't going to do anything
You
for
know
you.
what? And people don't talk about that enough.
That's right.
That's
All right,
exactly
well,
right.
that would be a good issue.
So-
But the other one of the zipper merge,
Yeah.
God almighty, there's nothing worse than the person that wants to block that other lane. Like, listen, just go over there yourself and go up to it works. Everybody gets through there faster
Because they think,
if you get up there.
well, I think the problem with this issue, and we're going to move on, but I think the problem with this issue is there's not enough PR on this issue.
Yeah.
People don't know that's what you're supposed to do. They
Yeah.
think you're supposed to merge as soon as possible.
No.
As soon as you get the warning, and you're not.
No.
Okay, there are too many good ones, so we'll move on. This is one of the more serious ones. Is St. Louis really the most dangerous city in the nation, or is it just how they calculate the crime stats? This one, it gets argued all the time.
I would argue there are certain parts of the neighborhood parts of the city that are dangerous, but as a whole, I don't know.
Listen,
I think
Downtown St. Louis, perceptions is reality.
Yeah.
And downtown St. Louis, we all know like that, or I should say the city of St. Louis and downtown more and more, there's a lot of crime. But even if you don't live in the city limits, it reflects on you.
I live in the Central West End, and the perception a lot of people have of my neighborhood is that it's dangerous and they won't go there. I've lived there 5 years. Never, knock on wood,
Oh, great. Now
never
it's gonna-
experienced a thing ever. Ever.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I would love to live downtown. I'm the person who should, and I just would not feel safe living downtown. Just not where I feel comfortable right now.
I say never experienced anything ever except for the time somebody got into my car and did something with baby oil
Oh my
and
gosh.
left the bottle in the seat. You guys heard that story.
Yeah, that's not fun. Look, I've lived in 4 major metropolitan areas in my life. I've lived in the Detroit area, in Miami, like in the city of Miami, not down in South Florida. I've lived in Miami. I lived in suburban Chicago, but obviously I spent a lot of time in the city there too, and here. And I have noticed no discernible difference in the level of danger in any of those places.
And you know what? I realize I need to clarify. I have lived in the city of St. Louis. I love that. There are tons of areas in the city of St. Louis. I was speaking more of like the heart of downtown, like down by the ballpark or whatever. Until there are more shops and restaurants and people, I wouldn't feel safe. But I have lived in the city. I love the city with, the different areas within the city limits. Okay, here's another one. Is it cool to love Chuck Berry, even though he did messed up stuff?
I mean, we've talked about this, like it's kind of the Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of that. Like you can still like the music, and respect the career.
There you go.
And still go, ugh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yep.
That's how I feel about Kanye. I love his tunes. Love his music. I think it's great. Most of it. Some of it's really odd for the sake of being odd, but I can't get down with him as a person at all.
Here's
Right
one
there
for
with you.
Wheeler.
What's that?
Did Metallica ever play Mississippi Nights?
My understanding is no.
This is a
But-
debate?
Yeah,
I
I don't
know,
know. That's
isn't
like
that
it's a
weird?
thing you could look up. I don't know why it's an argument.
So
you
they-
can look it up.
The Riverfront Times points out, spoiler alert, no. But I did not know this was debated. I didn't know if in
I
your
didn't
metal
either.
circles.
Here's another one I didn't know was debated. Was Todd Worrell's foot on first base in Game 6 of the 85 World Series? I never heard the argument that he was off the bag. And from the images I could see, the ball clearly beat him.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was up for debate. I thought it was solved.
I thought so too. I thought it was.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was settled case law.
Me too.
All right, here's one for you two. Is the River de Pear really a river?
I honestly don't know.
It can't be a river if it's only there sometimes.
Is it always there, or is it only
No.
there when it rains?
I think primarily it's not always there.
If you can walk down it, it's not a river.
That's a good point.
And here's all I know.
It's more of a. Isn't it more like just a waterway?
That would be a nice way to put it.
A flush
Drain
tunnel.
of sorts. Yes. All I know is that the playgrounds along the River de Pear do say if it has flooded recently or is wet, do not use those playgrounds.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's not.
I don't see what there is to debate here. Then
Well, I think it's how it's perceived. Like, do
Yeah.
you think, are we just naming something that is not really a river when really it's more of a drainage thing?
Here's another one.
Don't know.
And this is a big one. Is it Highway 40 or
Mhm.
is it I-64?
40.
It's 40. I'm team 42.
I think it depends on who I'm talking to. Like when I'm talking to people from out of town, it's 64 because they won't recognize the Highway 40 part. They're going to see the interstate signs all, I mean, like when you're coming down 55 or you're coming, or up 55, whatever,
Mhm.
you're going to see signs for 64. That's what you're going to see. But when I'm around town just talking to people who live here, I say 40.
It's 40.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need feedback too. You can text in, call 314-436-7900.
Yes.
Okay.
We need feedback on these things.
I didn't know.
Or other things that people fight about.
Yeah. I didn't know about this one, but I mean, I know what these balls are. I've seen the balls.
What?
The speed balls.
I've seen these balls, but they're
What?
Speed balls.
Ingracia balls or sleigh balls.
And they're the big traffic
Sleigh ball
balls.
sounds way better because it almost sounds like sleigh bells. Plus, it's
So
it's mayor sleigh, right? Is that what
Mayor
that's for?
sleigh.
Yeah.
So they're the balls in certain parts of the
Giant
city
Cement spheres
to
sounds
keep
better to me.
people from driving really fast
because
through
you're 5.
the neighborhoods.
They're balls.
They are.
They're sleigh balls or
Yep.
Ingracia balls.
There's a couple of them that are really close together too.
No.
Oh, come on, Kevin. You're the one taking it that direction.
I mean, like,
what's the matter with you?
why? Why are they so close?
What's the matter with you?
So that people don't drive through them or around them.
Oh,
Did you ask this question about the zoo?
No.
Should the St. Louis Zoo remain free to all, or should residents of outlying areas have to pay for admission?
I'd say leave it the way that it is.
Free.
Yeah, I don't.
mean-
what's the strain of the zoo on our whole thing?
But also,
if
it's
we made people pay for the zoo, how much better would our lives be?
And I do think you would probably, and maybe not in a huge way, but in some way you might reduce the traffic there. You might get people that are like, there are zoos everywhere, and I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to pay for it. But when it's free, it's there. I think people are like, oh, and I mean, I'll tell you, it's a zoo that I enjoy a lot. We go there pretty frequently. I enjoy it. And
and people go all the time. They take their kids, and also that's almost like a religious refrain. But the zoo is free.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, what would we say? You can't. We'll have nothing to say.
But
if
the zoo
isn't free.
only this amount of money, whatever it would be. I don't know. I think it's fine the way that it is.
Free 99.
Provel.
Oh.
That's really just a question. Provel.
Is it?
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
What?
Provel cheese. How do you feel about
How
it?
can you plead the fifth?
Let me-
What are you afraid of? Is Big Prevel coming after you?
Maybe. I will say this. Do you know where I love Prevel?
I will say I like it on a salad.
That's my
That is an interesting
favorite.
place.
Yes.
It's so good on a salad. The emo
Yep.
salad is my favorite. Like, it's almost like a drug. Like, I could eat too much of it. That's how much I love the emo salad.
I can understand why a person who didn't grow up here wouldn't like Provel.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm good with Provel.
Okay, this one is very interesting. Is Maryland Heights North County or West County? That's a great question.
Is this not established geographically?
Not by.
Because I know it's right between. He's right there on that border.
Guys, I need to know this. Text in 314-436-7900.
Well, I don't know. How do we define it? Because it is. Well, I shouldn't say all of it. It kind of covers a
I
lot of
always
ground,
thought
but I
it
would say
was-
that a lot of it is south of 70,
I call it Northwest County. Like
or
north.
West North County.
No, I think it's north of
If I
West
had to
in
pick-
West County.
If I had to pick, I would say West.
Yeah, I do too. I would too. But it's north in West County.
Okay. We're so good at that.
Missouri or Missouri?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, come on.
Unless
I don't
your
know.
name is Trudy and you're 100 years
So,
old. It's Missouri.
Related question. Is it wash or wash?
Oh, that's even not a
Well,
question.
because if you say one, then you say the other. If you say
Wash.
Missouri, you
Yeah.
probably say wash.
How do you say Illinois?
Illinois.
Okay, some people say Illinois.
Illinois, I hate that one a lot.
Illinois. What do I say?
You probably say Illinois.
Illinois.
People who say Illinois also say milk. I need a glass of milk. Same people.
Yeah. Not a fan.
And I think the last one, should the city and county merge? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to merge.
Oh, here's
Or at least be nice to each other.
Well, I mean, work in tandem, and the only way
Yeah,
you're going to
yeah.
work in
Team
tandem
up.
is if you merge.
Team up.
That's it.
Be like
You want to pull the region out of the gutter?
Be like
That's how you do
Superman
it.
and Batman at the end of that movie, not like in the beginning when they're always mad at each other.
Well, you want to move the region forward? That's where you need to start. That's where you need to start. Sorry if you don't like it, but if you don't like it, then we're just going to keep doing this thing that we have been doing for decades and decades, and it'll never change.
All right. We'll check the text line and a couple other quick things when we come back on the show.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct different, you have to know our history. It goes back 70 years to a renowned diamond cutter overseas. From there came years of diamond cutting, manufacturing, and wholesaling, supplying exquisite fine diamonds to top high-end jewelers. Eventually, those same wholesalers began selling direct to you, and that started a revolution. Today, we are a global diamond powerhouse with hundreds of thousands of customers and an impeccable reputation. But our core values remain the same as always. Our diamonds are the highest quality cut by the best craftsmen. Our prices are the most compelling. Our selection is staggering, and our warranties and guarantees are unbeatable. And our entire team's only goal is to help you find the diamond of your dreams. So as the story unfolds and the revolution continues, we invite you into our home to enjoy a jewelry shopping experience unlike any other. Born in craftsmanship, rooted in quality, and thriving in passion. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Trish Gazelle for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Online at youridoc.com or 314-966-5000.
Hi, Kent Newbold for Newbold Toyota. Your car is worth more than ever before, so why trust the damages for your servicing? Come see the factory-trained experts at Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
Dude, I'm here for the show. What show?
St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
The show on KMOX.
Oh, yes! 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 We got it, baby! We got it! We got it! Woo!
I just want that to be our new cowbell. We need
Cowbell?
More, we need more cowbell. We need more Cantori.
Oh, again! That's a twofer!
I think Jim Cantori, it's wonderful. I love it. We probably need to ration
You
it.
think?
Yeah.
I want more cowbell.
I don't think I've ever been like that excited about anything as much as he is excited
Really?
about Thunder Snow.
Ron, you ever been that fired up about anything?
I'm sure.
I know I have.
I'd have to go back in the banks.
You are like 100 times a day.
I know, that's true. That's a good point.
We're like, what's happened?
All you gotta do is watch me
I dropped
play-
a corn nut. I don't
You just
know.
gotta watch me play MLB The Show. Walk
Oh.
off the other day, and I like jumped off the couch and ran around the basement. I was doing the baby thing that Josh Naylor did.
By the way,
I'm not even lying. I'm not making this up. I ran around my basement.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
Doing the baby thing
I believe it.
and laughing because I hit a walk-off home run in a video game.
I believe it.
Wow.
It was Game 6 of the World Series, though.
Well, I mean, that's when the biggest home
comeback,
runs happen.
Big comeback.
Yeah, I don't. Mm-mm.
A texter to 314-436-7900 says, keep the zoo free. People will still spend a bunch of money for everything else inside the zoo, like the train, the carousel, and food.
Agreed.
Are you allowed to, I don't know this, at the zoo, bring in a cooler with food?
No idea.
I think you kind of have to have it out in the parking lot, right?
Never
If you're going to
tried.
do it.
Never tried it.
Amy?
They actually have a nice.
I don't know.
I like the cafeteria there. Every time
I
I've
do
eaten
too.
there,
I
had
think
good
it's
stuff.
We have a really nice zoo.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I like animals.
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I think it's special. It's special that it's free and it's so different.
Because it's a good one. It's not like
it's a great zoo.
Yeah, it's not like a lame free zoo. And there are a lot of lame free zoos out there. From a 314, I lived in North County, and in Maryland Heights was North County. We considered it North County.
Okay.
Oh, that's good to know. How about this one?
But
Oh.
to follow up on that,
Yeah.
somebody else says Heights is West County. It's Missouri and Wash.
Good for
There you
that
go.
guy.
Yes.
Big Blonde Dan has chimed in. He says River to Pear is a fancy rain gutter. He says it's Highway 40. The balls, no comment. The zoo must be free. Prevail, not my fave.
Those
come
are
on.
all
That's
fair.
Big Blonde
valid,
Dan.
That's a valid ballot.
Got to get down with the Provel. It's really good on a sandwich. You go to Joy's and get
Actually,
the
you're right. You're right. It is
the hot salami.
sandwich or salad.
Yes.
I ask this one in love, and I'm sure it will be received in love. Which city is smugger? Webster Groves or Kirkwood?
I'm not. I'm not. I don't have. I don't really have a take.
I think Kirkwood.
I think it's Wildwood.
No, the reason why Wildwood can't be smug is because it's west of 270, and anyone who lives east of 270 looks down on west of 270. So Wildwood can't be smug. They're not smug. They're like, we get it. We're west of 270. I think Kirkwood is. And I say this with love because I love both areas.
I don't really have
Chris
a take.
Myhill, if you're listening, he lives in God's country, which is Shrewsbury, and he would know.
When did Shrewsbury get to be God's country?
Oh my gosh, Chris Myhill would be dying right now. It's always been God's country. And
How?
loyal listeners of
Do they have a
KMOX.
sign that says "You're entering God's country now? Don't drive like hell"?
No, there's a sign from God that says
They have
you're
that in New
entering
Jersey.
my
It's
country.
amazing.
Oh.
When you enter
What?
New Jersey, there's a highway. You enter New Jersey, and there's a sign that says "You're entering God's country, so don't drive like hell."
That's pretty good.
When I was a kid, I used to laugh my butt off. We'd be on our way to the Jersey Shore.
I was looking for Kevin Killeen.
You've actually been to the Jersey
we used
Shore?
to vacation at the Jersey
no.
Shore every summer. My grandmother lived not too far from Philly, and we would drive the back highways. And my favorite thing, not gonna lie, favorite thing, like 12-year-old kid, I would ride with my cool Aunt Susan because she was the youngest of everybody. Like she's only like maybe 15 years older than me, something like that. And we would ride in her Firebird. And she
Wow.
would play Bruce Springsteen,
Oh,
and then we
man.
would laugh at that sign, and it would be just me and my cool Aunt Susan.
So this was
awesome.
back in like the 1980s?
Oh, yeah.
Like, is
All
it
right.
like
Late
Atlantic City?
70s into the 80s. No, we were like Sea Isle City, which is
Oh.
not too far from Atlantic City, but it's not Atlantic City.
I
Not
can't
like
believe
that.
I've been to Jersey. What do you think the 1980s?
Loved the boardwalk.
Who was the 1980s situation? You know, the situation. You think it was called the Ordeal?
I'm kind of an ordeal.
Oh my God, you are such an ordeal. Do you even know who the situation is?
I do. From
Okay.
Jersey Shore.
Who is it?
It's
Okay, that's
Snooki.
what it is.
Jersey Shore. Yeah.
Is that the guy who always had his shirt off?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's all of them.
But Snooki. Snooki?
Snooki.
I mean, in fairness,
She didn't have her shirt
they
off.
are on the shore. It's the beach. I mean,
They had it off in the house walking around.
DGS coming up after the news here on KMOX.
This is Debbie Monterey with a real estate update and some insight from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria told me that sitting on